Hello, everybody, and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will. I am not your dungeon master, but I am your host for tonight as we return to a star once fallen in open legend.
I in no way had the wrong overlay for a second there. It was fine.
You
It's
totally nailed
fine.
this.
It's
Son of-
totally right now.
Look,
At this
don't
point in
draw
the stream.
attention to it, damn it.
We're nailing this. Joxer says, "But behold the pusher of buttons. It is he,
I
Finbar,
am
who
the
is
pusher of buttons.
Indeed. So tonight we're returning to a campaign from like a previous couple of weeks ago, not so long actually. Yeah, Star Wars Fallen with Brian. How are you, Brian?
Doing good. Glad to be back to finish up. See if we can't, finish you guys off where we left,
Yeah.
where we left off.
Outrageous.
Yeah, Brian's such a sadist that he's actually just wanted a new session just to murder us all.
That's right. That's
just-
exactly right.
Yep. So Brian did create Open Legend, the game that we're playing tonight. We're not playing the usual D&D or Dark Heresy or Warhammer. We are playing Open Legend. So let's go around, remind ourselves who we are and who we're playing tonight. So, Finbar, any hot exclusives on who you're playing?
Well, it's not really. You can't call it exclusive because it's already happened before.
It hasn't been. Well, people might not be familiar. It might be exclusive to some.
Okay, fine. Exclusive to those who weren't here previously, which I still don't know. I am playing Kragg Ironheart. He is a slightly fussy dwarf who has a slight anger problem where he throws giant icicles at things. Most things seem to make him angry, and he solves a lot of issues with icicles.
Blue blood as well.
Sorry?
He has blue blood as well, right?
Oh, yes. He also does have...
He's
going
royalty.
kind of along his arms, he has very dark blue blood vessels, and the more magic he uses, the further up towards his face and the rest of his body those get. So at the moment, when he's kind of running on I'm just gonna make giant magical explosions everywhere, is all his blood is blue. It's quite dope.
That's hot. What's up, Trey? What's up, Squarehead? So Gareth, how are you, sir? Who are you, and who are you playing tonight?
I'm good. Is it, Brian? Is it still a secret?
So your character
exclusive.
will be introduced. Actually, let's have you go last in the sense that we'll describe where we left off, and then you'll come on the scene. So go ahead and go. We'll move
Okay.
to Will.
All right,
Pretend
then.
I'm not here.
Yeah, no, I usually do. Tonight I am playing Zane, the zany mind mage, who has he's a love for a passion for all things artistic and painting, and a firm, strong knowledge on the difference between lizards and monkeys, as established last time. He's a bit mad, but he's pretty fun to play, and I like using all his different mind powers to mess everything up. So Gareth, are you going to go then? Are you going to reveal the hostility, or?
Well, I'll step in. And
All right.
Where we left off.
The Sclusy stopper.
Yeah. The showstopper.
I stomp on your Sclusy, sir.
Oh,
a
man.
toothbrush. Move that over there.
So to remind it, for those who are new or those who need a reminder, where we left off was the group had shipwrecked on this Starfall island, and after helping it was very confusing, especially for Will's character, because there were both a monkey and a lizard in the same place at the same time. So
It was incredible.
he can't really tell the difference between them.
I think I can. I'm pretty sure I know.
Anyway, so these monkey bats were trying to attack this helpless little lizard who is about 2 feet tall. They rescued him, went back to the guy's village, talked to the chief, smoked the peace pipe. Not really, but that should have happened, so we'll say it did. And then
We did
after
do
that,
some drugs, didn't we?
There were some
yeah,
slugs. It was slugs.
Slug juice.
was
That was it.
slug
Slug
juice.
juice. Yeah, it was
Yes.
supposed to paralyze your enemies, and then one of you guys drank it. That's right, I remember that.
It was Mitch. It was Mitch's character.
Yep.
So this looks tasty. Boom.
That was Mitch's character. All right, so then they told you guys that. So you guys sort of jumped to a conclusion about slavery or something like that. They weren't really necessarily talking about slavery, but these lizards were suggesting that perhaps with the Scepter of Kings, they might be able to, compel somehow these other race of people called the Wapungo, who are much larger, and get them to build you guys a ship, maybe get off the island. Maybe the shamans could help with the weather patterns so that you can make your way off. And so then the group had gone to the ruined city, and wherein they wandered around some ruins, made their way toward this large ziggurat, and were attacked by a gigantic stone golem.
Oh my god, yes.
Nearly turned them all to pulpy flesh.
My favorite kind of flesh, actually. The pulpy kind.
However, Finbar's character, Kragg, actually was able to manifest the sort of ice effect that lodged the gem, which was powering it, loose from the thing's forehead, and it fell into a lifeless heap of rubble. And after that, they headed over the not at all ominous rope bridge, which is, of course, very secure, very safe, and were attacked by some spiders that looked like they wanted to send them hurtling to their doom to the bottom of this ravine, which they couldn't even see. They made their way past there, up these to the other side, up to the ziggurat, and coming into the ziggurat, they actually they found inside, other than the smell of death and decay and 100 years of abandon. This is rumored by the Wapuni, these little lizards. They say that this is the city of the gods, and so there were pictograms about these different sort of half-snake people who seem to be the masters of the Wapungo, the humanoids, and the Wapuni, the little lizards. So going inside, they found on the throne a silent and still figure, still cloaked, or still covered in robes, and Sydney, who's not here, her character had attempted to use her fey-like charm to. I
thought you were going to say something else about the head.
Yes, yeah, you should mention that. I suppose she
yeah. Did
Do we-
have a giant tumor on her head in the shape of a bow, which she uses to attack people and to dig holes, etc. It has many uses.
Oh, it's terrible.
Was it a combination of because she had the giant bashing tumor,
And the toes.
and she had
toes.
hooked toes that she used
Yeah.
to use Pokemon move dig,
Yeah,
because
basically.
that enabled her to. Oh, you're quite
Yeah, she-
right, William. You're quite right. I'll get on
She
that.
she had basically buried one of their opponents, like with a shovel as her attack or something strange like that. But anyway, perhaps things will be more on. Nah, never mind. I won't say that.
Don't even try.
That's a.
You'll be disappointed. I know what
No.
you're going for. You're going to
know.
be disappointed.
I know. So so
We
when,
see you, Brian. We see you.
when so when she tried to use her fey-like charm on this this mysterious cloaked or robed figure, it stood up and said in a snake-like hiss that yes, run, save yourselves, and that's where we left off as the group heard a sort of clicking sound that you might hear of maybe like something really large coming down the side of the wall inside of so looking up at the inside of this ziggurat, which is
Yes.
a pyramid. They saw something in the shadows lurking that was headed their way. And so at that point, we'll reintroduce Plug, That's a great name. Plug is a member of the Wapungo tribe, who none of you have actually interacted with yet, and he saw that the gate to the city of the gods had been left open, and his understanding, the Wapungo and the Wapuni believe that the city of the gods, anyone who goes there will surely perish, but Plug, in his great bravery, has overcome that and set his differences aside in order to press on. He's trying to see what's going on, and he's kind of followed behind you guys. You didn't notice him, and at the same time that you guys are dealing with this, the door opens behind all of you as light streams into the Ziggurat. You guys had previously shut the door behind you, and now I'll let Gareth describe his character there.
Okay, so Plug is probably 6.5 foot tall. He's just a man tank. His shoulders are about kind of twice as wide as normally would be. He's got a bit of a small head, but he's covered in tattoos and piercings. He's overly hairy, but except on his face, he's got no hair at all. He's bald, no facial hair, and his fists are as big as his head.
Nice. Perfect. All right. So with that, everybody can roll agility as we will, unless somebody has an objection, we'll start off right in the heat of combat.
No, I have no objections. Quick question for those for Danny. He said, "When is the Dungeon Masters Workshop?" So the Sunday nights are either like a sponsored show or Dungeon Masters Workshops. They're fairly like fluid. So check out on Twitter which night it's gonna be. So Dungeon Masters Workshop will be the week after next, as far as I know. So yeah.
Cool.
And I'll roll.
All right. So we got. Kragg is on a 14. So agility is your initiative.
Yeah. Oh yes, and I'm remembering the formula
that was just
here.
a practice when I was looking at how things lined up in the overlay. This is my agility.
Minus 16.
With the 17 roll on the d20, so perfect.
The perfect number. Congratulations.
Puny 7.
All right, so we got. I think we're going to give you. This is great because, except for the beard, which is explicitly not what your character had, you could just be. You could be. What's his name? Mitch's character here. So how about that? So let's see.
That works.
Let me jump on here, and we'll give this to represents Gareth. All right. Can you move out this guy here, Gareth?
Yes, and I'll have a drink.
You can? You're good to go?
Yep, all good to go.
Perfect. All right. We will we'll sideline Sydney over here. And
what was her name? Mary Bow or something?
Maggie May, right?
Maggie Roof. Maggie Roof,
that sounds right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. We've got 21 for Kragg, and then a 7 for Plug, which you're going to be. We'll change your. You'll just have to do as being Zane on the initiative order if you can remember that. Oh, look, Zane is okay. Wait, what?
Zane is correct.
Zane. Okay.
What is Zane?
Zane.
I am Zane.
You're Zane. It's Mitch that you're on the initiative order as their Plug. So how about that?
Thank you, Ginyu 2007 for the host.
What's up, Guinea? Try exclamation point, Guinea. It's
all
a
right. So that being said, let's see. Let me get a roll for our. So what are you guys doing as you are not surprised and you hear again? You hear this sound and you see what looks to be like powerful forelegs of some lizard-like creature, sort of digging directly into the side, the inside of this this ziggurat.
I'm like, goodness gracious me, as this thing comes towards
You
me
can
because
roll a learning check there, Zane. Actually.
yeah, that's a good idea. I was just about to say that. So, if you guys aren't familiar, we're not going to run over like the kind of basic rules because we did that previously. But essentially, exploding dice. And you can watch the previous videos if you want to learn more. If you do have any questions, we'll answer them at the end. It's specifically about the rules and stuff like that. And I'm sure people in chat will help you out as well. So a 11.
Okay. So on an 11, you are. You
Dead.
think that you're thinking that there must be some sort of relationship between the snake-like people and this sort of lizard-like form of whatever this creature is.
Yeah.
However, you can't recall any such creature, from the past anyway.
Yeah, okay.
I would like to throw icicles at it.
All right.
It's what I'm good at. It's what I know.
It's what I know. It's what I.
It's one of my better skills, and it's worked out pretty well for me so far in this game. So
Yeah.
Being a
shall,
native of this place, do I know anything about it?
You know that you know a little bit about like the pictograms thereby associating these sort of snake-like people, half snake humanoid creatures as being the form of the gods. However, what's inside of this city, your people have avoided this for hundreds and hundreds of years, so you actually don't know anything about what's inside the city.
Okay.
Unfortunately. So Kragg has an 18, trying to throw icicles at it. Very well.
want to hit all of its legs.
All of its legs. You do a sort of glancing blow. You manage to do some damage to this creature. However, it looks more perturbed by your attempt than actually hurt.
Damn you, lizard monster!
And Zane, you can go ahead there if you have a.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, what on earth is that thing? And then I throw caution to the wind. I guess I just draw my longbow.
Okay.
Because I've been using. So if I'm carrying on from previously, I've been using a fair amount of like abilities before. So I'm just gonna use my longbow.
Time to get serious.
Oh, of course I completely gone. Yep.
You can do. The idea is that.
It is, yeah.
So in Open Legend for everybody,
Yeah,
you typically use one of your attributes to do damage. So it might be like in the case of Kragg, the mage, he uses his supernatural energy attribute, and he rolls the dice associated with that and does damage accordingly.
Yeah.
He can also pump up the volume and attack more than one squares at a penalty to his dice roll. So that's another thing. And then Will typically would use like his enchantment supernatural ability to charm something or similar. But right now it's going to be the longbow as he rolls a 21, and that's just an agility roll. So that's a d20 plus a d8, and 21 is a hit. But again, doesn't look like you've done too much to really bother the creature, unfortunately. And that does worry you, as
it does very
shots with your longbow don't get much better than that, since it's not exactly your specialty. Next up is Plug. So Plug, you're sort of down the hall here, left off of the board, but you can we'll sort of like move you as you move onto the board. But I don't know what exactly you want to do, so you have to let me know there.
So I'm going to kind of approach in and just peek my head roughly round the corner with all the subtlety of kind of a raging gorilla, and just kind of see what's going on. I'm hearing these weird noises and sensing rushes of cold, and I just kind of want to know what's going on.
Yeah. So you peek in, and you hear this sort of like crunching sound of what's above your head, and inside of the sort of pyramid-like ziggurat. and you can't actually see it just because of your angle here. You'd have to move further into the area to look up and see. But you do see these two fellows standing there, and one appears to be a mage of some sort, and
Kill
he's
it!
launching
Kill
the
it!
blast ice. Yeah.
Make it cold!
There's an old man and a dwarf, and the old man holding a giant bow,
I'm not that
and the
old.
dwarf floating icicles above his head and flicking dramatically towards something.
I may be 50. I'm a young man
Uh-huh.
at heart, and I have an artist's soul, I'll have you know.
Yeah, you did take those selfies with the lizard.
I did. Yes.
Well, I need to see those.
Slowly painting. I forgot about that.
I'll just kind of head in as much as I can to try and an area I think I'll probably hide behind like a knee-high stone, thinking
Okay.
that they can't see me properly, but just kind of observing what's going on, seeing how they're doing before I kind of jump in.
Okay.
If only there was some help!
If only there was some help.
Shut up and kill it!
I'm talking and killing! It's how I cope!
So this thing now sort of emerges a little bit from the darkness, and you see along the sides of its head, similar, it's got a lizard-like head, sort of like a dragon, except it's got rows of eyes rather than just a single eye. And looking out the, looking out the side of one of its eyes at, I guess Zane's longbow shot did the most damage, so it'll be him. As he looks out the side of his eye, and plus 2d6. 27 versus your resolve defense. What is your resolve? It's impossible. There's 27, so that's a hit.
Yeah, my resolve is much lower than that.
Not that good.
14.
So, what happens as this sort of creature is sort of climbing down the side of the wall, it sort of turns its gaze toward our friend Zane.
Not me!
And you see Zane, like, he was sort of shouting, and all of a sudden he just sort of stops shouting. As, you see this look of horror frozen on his face, and he, in the torchlight, it doesn't look like he's exactly turned to stone, but his complexion is sort of becomes very, very drained in color, and it almost looks like this sort of gray region is sort of creeping across his forehead as you look at it.
Is it the effects of aging? Sudden aging just comes across his face.
Oh, nice. And you are incapacitated.
Oh, good.
So on your turn, you will roll a resist roll automatically to see if you can fight back your inner self can sort of fight back against this this powerful sorcery.
See if I'm really worth it.
The lizard is challenging you to mind magic Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
It's true.
And I'm not ready to play.
Playing on your field.
Yeah. He's in my base, stealing my grills.
Yeah, he sure is. So the other one with one of his 8 claws, he will attack Kragg
Son of a bitch.
for a 9, and so that'll sort of go wide as you manage to step out of the way. His arm is huge and sort of easily manage to step
I'm
out
a
of the
small
way.
target. It's
Yeah.
okay. You just
Yeah.
need to be embarrassed.
And, and Gareth, you finally see the figure as it finally, from above, you see this giant, claw sort of reach down and take a swipe at this not lizard. I almost said lizard. This.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
Everything is a lizard.
So you can jump in if you want to. There.
Yeah, as soon as I've seen that this thing is a lizard, not Finbar, the antagonist against us.
Not so sure.
I think it's some kind of weird, deformed Wapuni beast. So I immediately kind of spark up. I pull this massive log.
I mean, all right.
Uh,
Let's get partying, people!
And after that, it's a massive log with a huge stone attached to it that kind of is fashioned as a rather natural maul. And I just charge it as quick as I can and bring the maul down on top of it.
All right, give me a
lizard, Harry.
give me a might roll, and then are you? So you can use your feet. Are you doing that?
No, I'm not yet. Not at the moment. Okay. I'm just going to normal to start with. That's a 17. The perfect.
Okay. So 17 is you sort of like connect with this thing, but it's very leathery hide. Looks like it's not too overly bothered by your maul, the hit with your makeshift maul there. And then next up we have is it Kragg again? Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it would be I. Sorry, I'm just messing with things on overlay.
I'm like, kill it.
I realize I forgot. I am a dwarf of many feats, mostly to do around throwing icicles. So advantage is so advantage gives me so I have 2 advantage whenever I attack with this. So it'd be 4d6 kh2, right?
Yep.
Okay. Let's do it! Oh, damn, son.
Oh.
The artillery dwarf!
So just for those who can't, it's not obvious on the chat. He rolled a 14, and then on his d6s, he rolled 2 6s on the first 6s. So those 2 explode, and so the one becomes an 8, the other becomes a 9. 17 plus 14 on the d20 is a 31. So that is one of the fun parts about the system, is that dice explode. I played it on Friday, and somebody rolled a 66. They rolled a 20, and a 20, and a 19.
You know.
We actually had a similar thing yesterday on the 12-hour stream. If you crit in the Warhammer game, if you roll max damage and you get to roll again, and James' character was attacking this child who was a heretic, who was totally a mutant thing, and so he attacked it with his flail for 40 damage, which is enough to kill 5 men over in heavy armor. It was just pulp. It was awful.
I love it. So you definitely get the creature's attention there, Kragg.
Run, jump, and
as you see the eye, one of its 6 eyes turns in your direction, and it begins to sort of slither down the side, making its way down to the floor. Next up is Zane, so you can roll a resist roll, d20, and then
That's
10 or higher, and you shrug off the bane that is afflicting you.
Yeah, and again, like effects in this game are kind of rolling on you until you can succeed, so you don't have to worry about tracking how many turns an effect is on you. So no maths is involved, just rolling. 6. Goddamn.
6. That doesn't bode well for our heroes. So just to elaborate on that just a small bit, the idea is you have lots of status effects, and those can be applied either through so blinding could either be a flash of light from some sort of energy attack, or it could be salt in the eyes of somebody from some secret pouch of salt that a rogue carries, right? So we quantify all those separately. And then whenever you do 10 damage or more, which we forgot, you just did 10 damage, Kragg. So Finbar, you can inflict a bane.
Okay. Let me. I think there's a persistent damage bane, isn't there?
Yeah, that's what I was.
So
figuring.
my icicles, like I fire a bunch of icicles into his side and then melt them rapidly, so he just starts bleeding freely from the icicle holes.
Excellent. Love it. All right, so
this
persistent
strange
damage.
beastie.
Yeah, so the total damage, just for reference here, That'll be D8 per round. So you remember that on his turn, he takes a D8 from you. So what I was saying though is, what did we just do? Oh, so he just rolled a resist check so basically Banes just stay in effect until you take a move action to resist them. And in his case, one of the special things about the incapacitated Bane is that your physical body is naturally trying to fight back, even though he's technically unconscious. So that's why he rolled to see if he could shake it off. So next up is Plug, I believe. Yeah.
Plug it in.
So kind of infuriated by how he shrugged off that attack. It kind of infuriates me, puts me into a rage, which I use the feat Berserker.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
And I just go ham on him. I kind of just start spinning in a whirling dervish akin to the Tasmanian devil and try and hit him with a hammer as many times.
Uses whirlwind attack.
So 4, I just add 2 because it's an extra dice, an extra D6 because it's an advantage because I'm raging. Am I pulling that out of my backside?
Oh, Brian, you're muted. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello? All right,
Yep.
cool.
Yeah.
So you basically add X dice. Even if the original is 2d6, you still just add one die for advantage. So you would roll 3d6. However, we forgot one thing. Assuming that your thing is like a maul that's two-handed, those get advantage 1 anyway.
Okay. So it's
you would actually be 46 K2 is the formula. You'll keep the highest 2.
KH2, sorry.
Yeah.
Either one, K2 or KH2, they're the same.
Okay. That's a 32.
Hello.
Son. Someone who can keep up with me.
All right.
Excuse me, I beat you.
Correct.
Get out of here with your 31.
Oh, you want to play this game? You'll play this game with me, Gareth? We will play, son. We will play.
So,
you do 10 damage, so you also trigger a Bane, which can be something like knock down to knock the creature sort of off the ceiling, or push the creature back in a direction, or
just looking for immobile. Can I shatter one of his kneecaps or something like that?
Yeah, perfect. All right, so the creature is immobile now, and taking persistent damage from Kragg's bloody icicles. Perfect. So it's the creature's go, and now you can roll Finbar for your persistent damage.
My D8.
D8 exploding.
Oh, and D8, so that's 1D8, not 1D9, 1D8, 2 exclamation points?
Mm-hmm.
14! That's what's up.
So these icicles are like almost.
Oh, Brian, we've lost you, buddy.
They were almost something.
Yeah, the icicles was something.
It was such a hot Sclusy that everything broke.
They're cold Sclusies in this case.
Yeah.
Very definably cold Sclusies.
Chilled for your comfort.
Oh man, how about now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. I'm getting rid of this thing. It's not working out. All right. So you managed to do 14 points of damage to this thing. So these icicles that you've sort of lodged into it, they sort of like they're icicles, so they're not heat-seeking missiles, but they're that type of effect as they just sort of drill deeper into this thing's flesh,
consuming the heat. I think you'll find.
Yeah, exactly. And you actually must, like, one of them must strike its heart as the creature just sort of keels over unceremoniously as you guys have thoroughly destroyed this thing in a short period of time. And what we need now is for Will to roll twice to see if he dies or not.
That's always good. That's always good.
Oh, damn!
So I need to roll 2 d20s, and one of them has to be over a d20. A 10, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, dear. Oh, gosh. Oh,
That's
this is
a 2.
bad.
Come on, you can do this. You can do this. You got this. Come on, you got this, buddy.
For Sigma. Yes!
Oh!
Barely by the skin of his teeth. So just when you guys see like this sort of stony part of his flesh that's turning from flesh into stone, sort of creeping over, and just when you think it's sort of completed the transition and he's completely stone, his mouth begins to move as he sort of you can take it over there, Will.
Oh, and he like almost like has a heart attack. My life it flashed before my eyes. It was so beautiful. So much art.
I just want to ask, has anyone seen, has anybody ever watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. here? Specifically
seen-
season 2. I'm going to find a GIF and I'm going to link it in chat because it's so appropriate right now.
I'm just like, and I look towards our latest companion. Well, thank you, sir. You rather saved our bacon here.
It's like, what does he look like? Sorry, as a we haven't met any Wapungi yet on the island, have we?
Yeah, so I mean, you can describe your character. He's got like tattoos and like bone like fetishes that are like piercings and stuff like that.
I could have told you that about Gareth. He's got some fetishes.
Don't give Will the in. Don't give Will the in.
It's not like he
You
needs help.
You keep settling up, Brian. I'll keep knocking him down. Gareth's got a fetish. My brain's like, let's make a joke.
I believe my purpose was summoned.
Somebody called.
If life was burning wheel, that this would be one of Will's instincts. So Wapungi are basically humanoid.
Yeah, they're just oversized humans, more or less, sort of Neanderthals.
No, it's like, oh good, more strange inhabitants of this island.
I quickly go up and examine you. What exactly are you?
Plug.
You're what?
Plug.
You're drunk. Well,
Plug.
I don't know what you mean. You're a plug.
I believe that's his name, or at
Needs
least
to
how
be
it's referred to.
Plugged? Yeah.
Zane, mind, gutter.
What?
The intersection of these two things.
I point down to Kragg, who is hairy child.
He's Kragg. And you're plug.
Hairy child, good fighter. I put out my hand to him.
It's like, just very gingerly, like shakes like a kind of on a finger, I guess, because you have giant hands, and then just sort of
I'm envisioning a
softly weights
persistent
down.
right now.
I'm like, fascinating how this creature works. Thank you, plug. We come in peace to your people. And I have seen many lizard folk here, but you're not one of them, I can tell you that much.
Lizard folk back.
They're back or they're bad?
Bad. They like the weapon.
They have a bad back.
No, Zane.
His voice
Zane,
is very
friend.
hard.
Zane, he doesn't like the lizard folk.
He doesn't like the... So you're a monkey? Or...
I eat monkey, you understand?
You eat monkey?
Monkey tastes good.
I see.
I
So
mean,
you're...
It did, actually. That's what we can agree on. Wait, did I eat a monkey or did I eat a lizard? I can't remember which I ate.
You ate a monkey.
Yeah, okay, we ate a monkey. Yeah, no, cool.
You froze the monkey in a giant ball of ice and rolled it into town.
I know I ate one of them. I just couldn't remember which one it was.
I mean, I called it a lizard. That's the
yes,
confusion.
that is definitely part of the source of my confusion. So, we agree on this much.
Why you come, city of gods?
We're looking for the scepter of kings. Apparently it's here. We're trying to get off the island.
Why?
There was I kind of turn around. It's like, wasn't our friend talking to the man in the chair?
Yeah, so at the same time that this all happens, you guys sort of look over at the. So previously, Maggie had spoken to the figure on the chair, and in the sort of confusion that came, or the sort of panic as the figure told everyone to run and save themselves. It turns out, as you're sort of surveying this situation right now, that sitting on top of this throne, across the lap of this figure, is in fact a golden scepter, and at his feet is a figure that is in sort of desiccated robes that are, have obviously been here for hundreds of years, and sticking out of the back of this figure is a dagger, and I'll pass it back to you guys there.
Well,
There is that thing. Where did Maggie run off to?
I just conjure an icicle, just like ready to be thrown at something. It's like, friend, Plug, was it? How about you do us a favor, go over there, grab me that golden thing, and then we'll go catch some monkeys for dinner, alright?
You want Plug have stuff?
I would like Plug to give me the stuff.
Okay.
Get it for me, because I believe you are much better at the carrying and lifting of things.
Yes,
Plug
he's saying you're expendable, you see, because we don't know you.
Plug have
Just look at Zane like, damn it, don't tell the savages my plans.
It's a test.
I stride towards the stuff.
It worked. Look.
Just like,
And I start.
as he's watching, I'm just like lining up the shot at the back of Zane's hair. It's like, no, he's useful.
Making
I swear
notes.
he's useful.
Very low intelligence. Excellent.
So as you guys, as you approach the throne here, what happens is
Where's the throne of this diagram? Sorry.
Yeah, so let me see here. Let me draw it as a simple
Sure.
marker here.
Hey Shazara, once you get some drawing done, I remind you guys you can find Open Legend. You find the rules for free on openlegend.com. If you haven't followed, you want to watch more streams and stuff like this, we're on also next week as well, so hit that follow button and join us to catch not only this week's show, but next week's show, along with our 8 other weekly shows that we have of D&D and other RPGs. And of course, this Saturday is our 24-hour D&D stream, so after Saturday's huge shenanigans, we're going to be playing Open Legend in the evening. The fun just doesn't stop.
So you're gonna get all of like 6 hours of sleep,
At most. I barely
At
sleep
most.
after 24 hours.
and then bounce back up again. So Zane is gonna be a new kind of crazy next week.
Hi.
We will need to find some more slug juice to accurately represent the way Will play next week. You can also find our previous adventures in Open Legend on the YouTubes.
Indeed you can.
Um,
On the
panels below. Or as Skaz just linked in chat. But yeah, so I'm gonna move kind of around the side of the throne, ready to cover Plug if the bad thing I expect to happen happens. Because I have
When he blows up. you mean.
Finbar has played enough video games and Kragg has explored enough tombs that when you pull the golden staff or mystical blade out of the hands or back of the thing in the dungeon, they come back to life and try to eat you.
Right.
I'd like to know what you mean by enough tombs, because I don't feel like I've ever pillaged enough tombs.
Kragg's an explorer in a
Hunt
world
is up
where
there.
the stereotype is, hey, we need a thing from a tomb because everyone took everything they ever owned into their tomb with them because that makes sense. Let's hire a group of adventurers, preferably in groups of 4, go down into that place and find us our stuff.
They're like 6-packs, you know.
Yeah.
You guys are Paranoia. In Paranoia, you have 6 lives. It's actually pretty funny. You guys should play it sometime if you haven't. It's a fun game.
Paranoia? I'm gonna have to look that up. I shall.
Yeah, it's a dystopic future like George Orwell's 1984, and you get 6 lives, and your clones come in 6-packs. But anyway,
This sounds amazing. I am all for playing the weird ass one shots, so that will have to be looked at. Cool.
So that said, so you're standing off to the side, and we've got Plug here. He's going to go and approach this figure. So Plug, as you do, the head, which was sort of bowed down before, you were not here when this happened, when he spoke earlier. But again, the head sort of lifts up, and you see a pair of glowing eyes with serpentine pupils looking at you. And it speaks to you as you approach, and the figure says, let's see, he says, welcome, my friends. You may ask but 3 questions, and then your trial shall begin.
That doesn't sound good. The voice is also off-putting.
Oh, good. Threatening evil monster things in a dungeon.
I kind of I look at it, stare at it. I just kind of cock my head to the side. Plug take staff.
It's not a question.
That's not a question.
That's not a question. Okay, so roll me a might roll to take this staff.
Am I still technically raging? Can I get away with that, or?
Yeah, sure, why not?
I don't think Kragg is a calming presence.
That's a 22.
Raging.
22. Okay. So the creature, you can tell it's shocked and surprised, as it had never thought that someone would try to simply.
No, I take now. I clean.
You got me. Well played.
Once you think that there's about to be a sort of brawl that erupts, except for after you wrestle the staff out of this figure's hands. As soon as his hands leave contact with the staff, he simply falls over completely lifeless.
Oh.
Plug take staff.
And by a muted drink.
A second after that, an icicle just lodges in the skull of it. It's like, I've got him! Nobody move! It's fine! It's fine.
Yes, very good, Mr. Kragg. Bring the staff here. And I start walking towards the thing for 3 questions. Can I still ask 3 questions about anything? Hello?
There's no response from
Hello? I said, give him the staff back, for goodness sake. Give it back, I need to ask him some questions. Mr. Plug, are you all
Plug,
Hello?
try tapping it against the... Well, as we get close to it, is it a skeleton, you said? Sorry.
No, it is not skeletal. It's you can't actually see like exposed parts, but it looks like a very, very sort of desiccated snake.
Oh, okay.
It's like if a snake were a zombie or something weird like that.
It's covered in like scraps of cloth and all that. Okay. So try just tapping the staff against it, see if it perks up again.
I poke it with the staff. But I imagine it's not delicate at all. I like mash this thing right into its face.
You keep poking it. Nothing's happening, and you keep poking harder as the poking doesn't seem to be so. And you guys are all watching him sort of mash this thing with the.
My good Plug, give that staff here and let me have a go. And go and take.
No, Plug
More
stuff.
icicles.
And I hold it away from you.
Put it in his hand, carefully, slowly. Like you were painting a portrait.
Okay, but Plug hold other end. So
Yes.
I put it in his hand, I wrap his hand around it, but I'm holding onto the top of it very tightly.
Oh, man. So you do that, and there's this moment when you think something's about to happen, and then nothing does.
Oh.
Damn. Plus. Well, it seems that, we are not going to have any success of that. I
Well,
look upset.
we've still got the staff, so job
I guess so.
done. I mean, I don't really know what happened to our 2 friends.
Plug have staff, not 2. He clutches it tightly.
Plug, Plug, sir.
Sir Plug,
Sir Plug.
please.
Brian's job!
Brian's done.
He's done.
Brian has slunk away.
Don't say slunk. It's a trigger.
Don't say slunk.
I have rations over to the side here.
Oh,
I'm good.
I thought you were just like, fuck this, I'm out.
I'm done, boys.
Peace.
No way.
Drops, Mike.
This is way too good for that. So.
It's like kind of Plug is holding it against his chest slightly. Plug hero now.
A hero of what? Why do you need this, Plug?
Plug help war end.
There's a war. Wait, oh, yes, the war, yes, between your people. But aren't you killing the lizard people?
This stop that. This end war.
How does it stop it, Plug?
And why do we care?
We'll leave that for a secondary.
Yes.
Take chief. Take chief.
Take chief. Yes.
Plug take staff to chief.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
yes.
Step
What
one.
is
Sound
he
good.
going to do with it?
Plug's voice is getting slightly more irritated, like you two are stupid right now. You can't
Believe it or
understand
not-
why you two don't understand.
Believe it or not, so is Zane's. Yes.
Plug need take staff to chief.
Why?
Plug get no respect. Plug get shown respect with staff.
I see, but how will that end a war between your people?
Plug only hears half story.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Plug. Can I suggest a compromise? Oh wait, the savage may not understand compromise. Listen to me. We go with you to chief.
But Plug hero.
We help.
Assistant.
Assistant hero, fine.
Assistant Plug, I say, pointing towards towards Finbar's character.
Zane, swear to God. Or whatever gods we worship. Ask chief how staff end war.
This doesn't sound like a very good plan, Kragg. We had a plan. Get the staff, bring it back to the other chieftain, then they let us off the island.
Ice skills like, do we just kill him?
Shush!
I mean, I can't just kill him.
Quiet!
Do we just kill him?
Let
Do we
Harry
kill him?
Child speak.
We were meant to enslave their race. Don't you remember the plan?
I remember
Enslave their race.
Maybe, hear me out for a second, Zane. We could just go to these people, say, we helped get your fancy golden stick, and they might have a boat. And we could just leave this island where no one understands basic dining etiquette.
Plug, do you have a boat? Do your people have boats?
Good question, Zane.
Water saily cars. Carriages.
I
water
jumped and
horse.
Slap Zane.
Plug, you have no idea what he's talking about.
Plug have butt.
Why does nobody have boats on this island? You're no use even if we do enslave you.
You come Plug village. Plug be hero. Plug give you big feast.
We don't need another feast. We need a boat. We need wood. Big wood cup. A cup of wood bigger than our bodies. Put cup on water. We go on cup inside. Sail.
Plug pulls off his water skin from his bag. You thirsty? Plug give
Looking
water.
at Zane like, I'm beginning to wonder which of
Just
these people is the
silence.
crazy one.
Silence. I'm an academic. He's getting through to him.
You have an arts degree!
I am insulted.
So
I
Plug
have
just
a-
squirts his water skin in your face a little bit, thinking you're just too thirsty to be able to think rationally.
I have a PhD in cultural studies.
Throws hands up. Oh god.
I turned to Kragg and I just shrug.
Let's.
Why does nobody have... We came here on a boat, a big water cup, wood cup.
So
I
Plug,
mean, can you swim?
I swear his
Zane.
face is thinking he wants water.
Can you swim? Can you
while he's
swim?
complaining about not having a drink, you have in your mind you have some pretty grand visions of the hero's welcome that you're going to receive. You almost feel holding the staff as though you are in yourself a kind of a sort of chief as you hold this golden staff with a cobra's head and a pair of gems for eyes.
So at this point,
Like,
thinking
is
it's
it like
kind of me all
Jafar's
the time,
stuff? I'm gonna think of it like Jafar's stuff.
I'm just kind of waving at them and then pointing in a direction, thinking that that's enough to kind of command them to move. So I'm waving and pointing.
Okay, Zane, friend. We're just gonna go with him. We're gonna go with him, and if he gets a night,
They live on an island, Kragg. They are surrounded by water. It simply doesn't make any sense.
if they're all
I look out
stupid-
on all the water, I'm like,
from the top of this
Totally.
massive ziggurat, and all you can see is ocean.
ocean is just all around. They must have lived on this island for hundreds of years and never once considered the concept that there might be things outside of the island.
So I'm gonna just
I'm
start
not sure
softly
if...
tapping him as he's speaking, getting him to move, getting impatient.
I'm not sure what I...
If they're not cooperative and we can't work out something, we'll just, I don't know, kill a
Enslave
couple of
their race,
them,
yes, I
steal it and
guess.
run off or something. We'll work it out. It'll be fine.
Chief Plug, say move.
Okay. That escalated.
Yes. Very well, Chieftain Plug. Take us to your people.
And I just kind of eye you both and Plug hero, Plug get stuff.
Yes, it seems that way.
Assistant heroes, remember? Assistant heroes.
Sisters, come on.
No. Oh. Yeah, we proceed outwards as I attempt to reason with a savage.
Oh man, that's epic. All right, so looks like you guys have a new course that's been set as you guys sort of begin to head out. And
This stuff has real good signal.
Hang on, the astral plane's
I've
calling.
got bars! But yeah, sorry.
actually, give me 1 second here. I just realized I got a new map that I'm going to show off, but I need to.
Smells
Get
like
that-
a hot Lucy to me.
But anyway, you guys can argue amongst yourselves for 1 second whilst I do this.
So yeah, I'm like, Plug, can you swim? Water. Move through water.
Plug starts to do a bit of a dance, thinking he's doing one of his tribal dances.
Very good. Very
Kragg.
good, Plug.
Kragg, no. Lake? And looks at you as it like, uh-huh.
I'm just staring at him, watching him.
Okay, fish. Fish. And like mime a fishing rod. Spear fishing, like fish.
We
No.
have ladies at village.
I don't know how he got there, but I'm
That's a-
intrigued to see
a
these
worrying-
women folk.
A worrying implication which we're not going to follow.
The anthropology of these species might be quite fascinating.
They're surrounded by water and they haven't even considered swimming or indeed entering the water at any point. This is quite fascinating. Plug, tell me more about your people.
People big. We fight. We fight with Wapuni.
Why do you fight, Plug?
We fight forever. They're no beginning. Fights always.
There will be no end. As
There we go.
This stop fight. And I kind of brandish the staff.
Ooh,
Yes,
the map
yeah.
got fancier.
Oh.
Look at this. So,
So you guys are currently at the ancient ruins here,
oh,
and you are headed to the Wapungo camp over here, according to the direction of Plug. So,
Okay.
So you literally want me to pick a direction?
Oh, we know roughly where we're going.
yeah, you guys know where you're
So
going.
is Tree Town where we were hanging out with the
Yeah.
It is.
the Wapungi?
The Wapuni.
The Wapuni, Jesus Christ.
They're the little ones.
Yes, those were the the little lizard people who fought the flying monkeys. So who owns the flying monkeys?
So, who owns the flying mon- That's a great question.
Plug. Have you met a woman? She probably dresses in black, green face paint, flying monkeys. Calls herself the Witch of the West.
Plug like monkey, and he licks his lips.
Good, wonderful, great.
There's no reason I've ever seen.
I mimic your sigh.
I've got an idea. Plug, can you dance? And I hope that he's going to swim instead.
Immediately imitates perfect front crawl.
Backstroke.
And Plug just does the slightest of moonwalks.
Uh-huh.
Just a single slide and just like, what up? Oh god.
Take us there.
Take us
Plug.
to your leader.
Okay, so I kind of lead back. Do you want just a rough overview, or?
What? No, what? Do I want a what? Sorry, what did you say?
It's for our journey back.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you know the way pretty well. So, I mean, go ahead.
I imagine I stay fairly clear of Tree Town, being on our own and kind of knowing the dangers.
Absolutely. So you guys will skirt Tree Town either to the south or to the north. Which is your preference? Your character actually knows exactly what the Great Chasm is, which the others do not. There's a certain crystal which is mined from a great gigantic gem, which is in this crater, and it is in fact the source of the sort of dispute, if I may, between your people and the Wapuni. And so there's like a mining operation, and basically the Wapuni and the Wapungo are always sort of back and forth. One will sort of control the mining effort, and then another, and that's sort of the short version of the history of the war without beginning.
Yeah, so we'd go north. I imagine we'd skirt around the outskirts. Maybe that our people have got some camps around there that we use as kind of outposts, and then back down south to the Wapungo camp.
Absolutely, makes perfect sense. So you guys head north, and eventually you sort of skirt around the Great Chasm. The island here is devoid of jungle for miles around, giving way to a barren badlands of dry, cracked earth, completely unnatural for the climate and location. Far within the badlands is a massive chasm that extends deep into the earth and stretches on for miles. As you travel throughout the strange terrain, you find signs of battle everywhere. Weapons lay discarded, blowguns, spears, crude stone daggers, and tomahawks. The remains of warriors abandoned in death can be found regularly in various states of decay. Some are bones that look decades old. Others are fresh, perhaps killed a week ago. The dead reveal two sides to this war that has been long raging. The Wapungo and the Wapuni. Drawing closer to the crater, you can see a faint pink glow emanating from the darkness about half a mile below. Natural staircases of rough stone ledges circle the sides of the cliff, predicting a long but not arduous descent. Again, you don't have to stop here, but that's what you guys see as you skirt the edge of it.
It's incredible. Has this always been here, Plug, as long as you can remember?
Yeah, we fight for this.
Interesting.
Zane.
This belonged to Wapongo, but Wapuni wanted. Wapuni tried to take.
I see. Yes, what was that, Craig?
Do you still have that jewel we pulled out of the
Why, yes, I
pen?
do. I kind of produce it.
Yeah, it's like, can we see any exposed crystal? And does it look similar, is my basic question.
So you guys can roll a learning check in terms of your gemological studies.
Do I have anything on that because I'm a dwarf? I forget. No, I do not.
We can give you advantage. You can have advantage for being a dwarf. Why not?
I am a cultured dwarfman.
This is learning, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so Control V, and that should be 2d6.
Only a 9.
Okay,
No.
H1. 16.
Okay. So you you are fairly certain, Kragg, that the two stones, granted they're precious gems, so it's not like they have an age. However, like the way that they are cut, if you compare to what you saw on the staff of the Wapuni chieftain who you've encountered before, he had a pink gem on the head of the staff. It looks like that was very rough cut, and this is extremely delicate and precise in its gem cutting. So it doesn't look like the same people cut it. You don't know if that means that the Wapongo may have cut this because they're somehow, despite being apparent Neanderthals, extremely advanced in their gemological...
Yeah. But
But,
savages have talents.
No, but you don't think that the two are the same, are of the same source, or it's like a totally different thing.
Okay.
Also,
Yeah,
the
at
gem is red that was in the golem,
Yeah.
and the other gem was pink.
Any connection, do you think, Craig? You're a dwarf. You know crystals better than I. No connection.
There's some similarities with things we've seen, but I don't really. None of this stuff has cropped up in any of my studies off land. This all seems very unique to this island. Everything seems very unique to this island. Kind of looking at Plug.
Yes. Very well. Well, we'll keep this spot in mind and remember where it is, lest we need to return.
Oh well, I'm sure we can find something worth having.
Or bartering with, perhaps. We do have this gem. Perhaps the chieftain might want it in return for some kind of... I don't know.
But water cup.
Some kind of gigantic water cup. Yes, that's what I want.
Yes, yes. We desire one of your finest water cups. I suppose
Hand me a cup. Thank you. That's
I'll
all I
trade you
want.
this priceless artifact for a very large wooden cup.
Yep, that's what I want right now. Drink it all away.
Oh god.
All right.
Carry on.
So you guys sort of carry on then, assuming that nobody's making a pit stop at the cavern here. Is that correct? The chasm? Just
Probably
sort of
not unless Plug leads us in there.
Yeah.
No, Plug is kind of very keen to get back to his camp. He wants what's rightfully his and his reward.
That's right.
Yeah,
All right.
I think we're more invested in the staff than we are this mine currently.
I think as we're walking by, no touch. I would warn you off them. No touch. Belong to Wapongo.
Nice.
Yes,
You
yes,
guys-
yes.
You guys arrive. Eventually, you make your way over here. Let's see if I can. There we go. And you sort of cross the river at a fairly narrow point. And but as you're doing this, your time spent in the city of the gods and the Ziggurat, etc., was sort of late afternoon-ish. So as you arrive here, it's getting dark. But Plug, you're pretty confident about where you are. It's another sort of half day's travel down to your actual home camp. However, this is more like Wapungo territory, generally speaking, even though it's not the village proper. And so, your intent is, if you want to, you can push on through the night, but you're also in what you consider to be your territory. So.
I think I imagine these two would be slowing me down considerably to how fast I normally go with my huge strides and my kind of knowledge of the terrain. So I think I'd probably pull them to a location. And as we're kind of walking through the dense jungle, maybe I kind of pull them away from some of the traps that we've set that they're about to walk blindly into. And I say, plug, one, sleep, you know sleep? And he kind of mimics the laying down thing with his hands.
I think the savage is patronizing us.
Yes, I think so. Yes, Plug, we would like to sleep.
So I kind of take them to kind of a small clearing with maybe a few less rocks and dangerous things on the ground, and I kind of just immediately lay down.
One
right?
second. Thank you, Bob Dom JK. I'm going to go with that. Thank you for the follow, sir. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Bob Nom. Little bit. Well, as you were, Gareth.
Absolutely flawless.
I am great at this. How dare you, sir?
So
I've had several beers.
I kind of prop myself up against a tree. I kind of hold on to the staff tightly, and I have my maul resting in front of that as well. And I immediately close my eyes without too much worry and promptly fall half asleep.
Very well. What are the other two doing there?
I stay up writing notes and plans. A lot about enslaving races and the best uses to put the potential race to work and how to teach them how to make boats once I've enslaved them. He just wants to be off the island at this point.
Writes the future doctrine of the British Empire.
Exactly, yeah.
Down.
Now, this is going to be a long one. But yeah.
Sketches of people in bright red coats and hats.
Oh, yeah.
Stay with me here, Bedway.
Connecting. You got like all these different interconnected lines and stuff like that.
Stay with me here, but we're going to need a lot of boats.
The boats.
So Kragg will once again sort of use some magic to shape some very specific ice plates and cutlery and pour out some it's like dried beef jerky, but he puts it on a plate and he proceeds to very delicately eat it with his cutlery. It's like, no, this is this thing's supposed to be done in an order. And of course it's ice, so it's perfect. Yeah, it's very sterile.
Properly, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I have good manners. But yeah, so, and after that we'll kind of keep an eye on Plug. We'll cuddle up to a tree and nod off himself.
All right. So as you guys sleep that night, the night is uncomfortably warm as you make camp. Though you found a relatively defensible position, there's a clear and cool spring nearby, from which you draw your utensils, and eventually. You succumb to sleep despite the humidity and pestering mosquitoes. Soon a dream disturbs you and from your sleep, more real than any you've had before. You see a young woman approach you. She's robed in white, almost a sort of bridal gown. And this lovely woman, she approaches you and says, "My name is Asha." And she begins to tell you about how she's come here, and she explains that she was shipwrecked on this island and was the sole survivor, and she tells you that she has been imprisoned by the Wapuni, and if you bring the scepter to the Wapungo chief, that he will help to set her free. And you feel as though there's it's a bit of a lucid dream. So we'll say that you guys are all in the dream together, just for simplicity's sake, and you kind of feel like you could interact or speak with her.
Oh, so this is a dream we're all having. Sorry, I thought you said it was Plug.
Sorry, did I say plug? I did
I
not
don't know.
mean.
I
Oh.
hearing is doing something today. Also, there is a mildly distracting thing happening on one of these cameras. But yeah, so Kragg,
Yeah, Gareth, could you stop that, man? That's kind of. Thanks.
so Kragg kind of goes, Asha, you said? Kind of, he's like, he pulls out a
Asha.
piece. He pulls out a piece of paper, like a page from a book or something, and looks at it, closes it, opens it again, notices different writing on the two occasions. It's like, right, okay, dream. These are like basic training things I imagine happen in magical academies because magic dreams are a thing.
Right. Absolutely.
And he looks at Ash's like, so who or what are you then? Does she look human or?
She looks human, but she sort of has a like an ethereal quality to her.
Okay.
You're not exactly sure what to make of that. However, she seems human, but she may be some sort of a spirit or something like that.
Yeah, but it seems to be taking a shape that doesn't necessarily seem native to this island.
That's a nice name.
Her bridal gown doesn't look like anything that you would find manufactured anywhere around these parts.
Why?
Zane?
Will's muted.
Fuck, turn my camera as well. I'll drink. On again. Where am I? It's on a crappy laptop. Yeah, I say, are you to be wed? Who's the lucky man?
Just look at Zane like, really?
Well,
Worth asking.
I,
Just being polite.
well, I was to be wed. However, my husband perished in the shipwreck that stranded me on this island.
Oh, that's bad news because we've been stranded on the island too. Do you know these people have no idea what boats are? Fascinating. Wait a minute, and then and then I wake up, I realize like you guys are all like in my dream, and I'm like, are you in my dream now?
I am. I know what a boat is. Plug doesn't know what a boat is, but then he doesn't know that he doesn't know what a boat is.
I mean, I'm not to be rude, but if you wouldn't mind, could you leave my dream? It's kind of a private thing. This is going in a different direction after
Plug's
this
just sort of sat cross-legged, looking at all of you three talking, and just wondering what the fuck is going on.
Plug, this is magic.
Magic.
There we go. Wonderful. He's got it. So
easy.
you just say magic.
So,
you do this little
yes,
action.
there is. Well, yes. If you need a ship, there is the. I don't know how salvageable it is, but there is the ship of that my husband traveled here on. However, again, it is imperative that that I escape before further harm is visited upon me by these strange lizards. So in fact, you could perhaps make your way to the Wapungo camp, and then if you wanted to check out the wreckage, see if you can't salvage any of the parts of the ship that would be on the peninsula.
God damn it, Josh. So you've picked a side in the war of the savages, then, Madam Spirit.
Wait, what did you just say? Say that again.
You've picked a side in the war of the savages, then, Madam Spirit.
Well, yes, they forced me to, as they've imprisoned me.
Ah, well, that all seems.
How you know of people, my people? I'm speaking to her.
well, it was been some number of years since I visited with your people. I had asked your chief to keep the matter a secret, and perhaps that's the reason that you had not heard. We have a bit of an agreement, the chief and myself.
I'm so sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I literally, I feel like I'm gonna burst. My whole body is hurting from laughing constantly. He looks like an emo ostrich.
Looks like a character that would not be out of place in a Mighty Boosh.
And
How many people are dressing you?
He's got.
Oh god, right. So, Spirit Lady wants us to give the staff to the Wapungo chief to free her from the Wapunis who are, like, keeping her prisoner using some form of magic thing. There's also the ship that her husband came here on somewhere that we might be able to salvage. Right. Good. Making sure I have kept up with everything. Okay. It's like, well, if you'll tell us where the ship is, I guess that's what we're looking for, so...
Okay, guys, sorry, I'm ready to stream now. Yeah.
Okay, good. Happy for you, buddy. If you've got a ship to offer us, then... I guess we're in your employ. Also, I don't believe Plug is going to turn over the staff anytime soon. Are you, Plug?
Well,
No!
Of course not, Plug.
Go ahead, Plug.
No, I was just trying to agree while laughing my face off. I am so... This is not professional, I apologise.
I feel you're safe
professional
again.
about
Yeah.
this, that would be.
I'm the one making this awkward.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
this is definitely your fault, Gareth.
I'm sure it's all your fault. Makes
Damn it! They've given him a sword! Don't trust this drunk man with a sword!
They've armed me. Not even my final form.
It's not even. Oh,
This is my scepter of kings.
Okay, game face is on.
Yeah, role playing.
All right, so but I don't know about the ship. It was not in great shape when we were shipwrecked. Obviously, I only mean that perhaps you could use use it for parts or something like that.
Are you able to talk with the chief of the Wapungo at all in this similar dreamlike form? Could you tell him how a ship is made so he can build us one?
Yes, that would be quite useful.
Do you know how to build a ship? She sort of turns to you.
No, I'm just rather hoping to find someone who does. I have a rough understanding.
Technically, I have the knowledge to, if I were in command of workers or slaves, that I could make them build me a ship. I have schematics. I studied an art degree. I can draw ships pretty well.
I don't know if a painting is the same as a blueprint, Zane.
It's just good enough. All we need is a raft. A raft will do.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Just
Oh,
as long
sorry,
as
not
we're
Jesus
off
Christ. Who's a god we worship around here?
So,
By all the gods.
oh well, I'm glad that you all have a shipwright in your employ. As she sort of gestures to Zane, and I'm sure you'll be fine.
I'm glad that you have this confidence in us.
Yes, sorry, all that happened with your crashing and stuff. Not our fault.
No, certainly not. I wouldn't.
How long ago were you shipwrecked here, Asher?
Well, it's been quite a number of years, to be honest.
Okay, so it wasn't us? Not our fault. Fine.
No, not your fault, indeed. So, very well. I shall. I hate to disturb your sleep, as she sort of turns and begins to sort of.
I
walk
turn
off
towards
to
the
distance.
nightmare scape coming from Zane. I go, frankly, I think that as long as you get me away from that, I'll be fine.
As she begins to sort of turn away, and she just sort of in a sort of ethereal fashion, just sort of vaporizes as she walks away from you all.
That's convenient, isn't it? I kind of like softly wave towards Plug and say, "It's like I'll see you in the morning."
Do you all like? I've got like the Matrix thing where I'm dressed like this in my dream because that's like my projected image of myself. Yes, I guess I'll see you in the morning, gentlemen.
We will never have a discussion about this, Zane.
Probably for the best if we never speak of this again.
Never. But, I kind of spin around, like turn 180 on heels. Like, how do I?
I walk up
out?
to the lady and I say, "Plug, take you village as well," and I try and grab her arm.
Okay. Your hand goes right through her as she sort of dematerializes.
Plug looks at it like he looks at his own hands like he's terrified about what he's got the power to do.
You wake up. You also wake out of your dream because of the trauma. So you wake in cold sweats and see these two sort of talking to each other or themselves in their dreams.
I kind of. What's that?
Plug.
William,
Magic dream.
I'm speaking to people trying to put more clothes on me. I'm already the warmest man.
Yeah, I don't think you can get any warmer than that.
I don't think. I feel if you do, we might watch a man physically melt. Not in a fun way.
Mm-mm.
I feel less glamorous than I ever have in this lifetime. So I kind of look at which one of you do that?
We didn't. A lady who died many years ago did that using magic. I like make ice particles spray out of my fingers as I do this. It's like magic.
Plug just goes.
There we go.
Yes, magic happened.
How long have we been asleep for?
You guys were asleep for about 3 hours. It's like the dead of night, 1, 2 a.m. type thing when you guys wake up here and this dream happens.
Plugs think we should stay for another hour or two till till light come in sky.
Yes, try not to dream. And if you do dream, try not to come into mine. I'm going to be busy.
Just look at Zane. It's like, nope, never think about that again. Blocking out. I'm good. It's gone. All right.
Plug is going to kind of sit back in his seat, but he's going to kind of stay awake for a little bit, just trying to contemplate what he's seen.
I shall see you all back in this unholy, ungodly, awful reality we all share in a few hours. Ta-ra. Savages.
Yep.
Nestle back into
You all drift back to sleep eventually, depending on your own whatever your own inclinations are, and you wake up the next morning.
Slow my heart rate by just cooling my body temperature, so it's fine. I can knock myself out safely.
Hold your breath till you just pass out.
Slowly freezes self.
You guys all wake up bright and early with only a minor headache from having your sleep interrupted midway through. But overall, everything seems in order as you guys sort of prepare to make the trek toward the Wapungo village. So, thanks to your expert guide,
All is well.
you managed to avoid the various traps and pitfalls and bear traps and such that the Wapungo have placed in the jungle as you all are headed in that direction toward the village. Eventually, you do in fact arrive there. You see, much like with the Wapuni, large number of people are sort of standing around. There's a large collection of tents, and they seem to have cleared out the jungle in their area. There's all kinds of tree stumps around the village, and Gareth, you know that from Plug's experience, because of the nasty, sneaky little Wapuni sort of sneaking around in the bushes, the Wapungo have cleared out the jungle in the area so that there's no place for them to hide and sort of sneak up and do something dirty like poison somebody in their sleep and drag them off or something like that.
Well, we have a moment. I would like to thank Jarbear44 for the follow. Thank
Welcome.
you, sir. You're a gentleman, a scholar, and this man over here is apparently, the person who, is in charge of the stream. You've chosen a terrible crowd to fall in with.
You've done well.
Brian!
Welcome.
Oh, man. So, let's see.
I apologize for this. It's not my fault.
No.
I was helpless,
I was
vulnerable,
helpless.
Blame
alone.
the alcohol, Will. Blame the alcohol.
I always do.
Alcohol, blame it on the
Is that a song? I don't know that song.
It is indeed a song. I am
In Finbar's
unfortunately far too white to do it justice, as I am with most things.
Yeah, that's.
Other than hot exclusives, it's the one thing you can nail.
I nailed exclusives
You do.
with fervor and vigor. I'm gonna pass back into the game now before I say something else. Okay.
So, Plug, you sort of take them to your leader, quite literally. Except
as we're walking through the kind of village, I am showing off this staff to everyone, though. I am extremely proud that I've managed to get this.
and you managed to go ahead.
It's a legend of my people, and I'm kind of looked down a little bit. Everyone's a tiny bit bigger than me, and I'm kind of the runner of the litter, so I'm just making sure everyone sees. I'm probably taking them the longest way through this village, so I'll show them the most amount of people.
Yeah.
You basically have a sort of party train by the time you arrive at the chief's.
We're all congoing.
And yeah, exactly. There's congo. Yeah, you have people with drums, just sort of following after you guys. They got the bongos and the djembes, all that. They sort of some people as the runt of the litter, a few of the larger Wapungo warriors sort of lift you up on their shoulders, sort of carrying you through the village, again toward the chieftain's camp or tent. I mean, so you arrive, and Chief Bloodfist has already heard rumors from.
You don't need to make them that obvious, Brian. You can. I'll take some subtle joke setups. It's fine.
So.
How to make a joke without making the joke. Yeah. But not being offensive.
Buy Will's DVD for all the educational courses you'll ever need in being a terrible human being.
That one was a bit close to the knuckle.
Yeah.
You're gone.
So
I'm gonna turn the stream off now. We're off, people. Have a lovely evening. Bye.
Oh, man.
He speaks. So the chief is in fact expecting you due to the meandering path that you've taken due to the celebration. Someone has already let him know, and he sort of emerges from his tent to meet you. He is, in fact, your character knows, unlike the others, he is named, in fact, for when only one chief can preside at a given time, and when one person challenges in an attempt to take over the position, the chieftain's position, they do, of course, mortal combat, and in that the handle of his tomahawk was broken in his ascendancy to chief, and he ended up beating to a bloody pulp his opponent with his bare fists, as brains and skull were all over the place. And he is known for being quite brutal. So that said,
A name like that, I mean, yeah.
exactly. So, so he sort of comes out of his tent to meet all of you.
Yes.
And
Got exclusive, Finbar.
I do have a exclusive. Panda Krieger has just followed. He's a gentleman, also a scholar. Possibly a panda, unconfirmed.
Good lord.
Back to you, Brian.
Incredible work.
And he's
Back to you in the studio.
so what do you all do? He sort of comes out, and you see this hulking man approach from out of the tent. He sort of ducks through, and where our friend here is sort of 6.5 feet tall, this guy is over 7 feet tall, the tallest that you've seen of any of these sort of Neanderthalic.
I look between like tiny plug, and like huge guy back again. Are you sure you're the chieftain? Plug?
He has a plume of bony spikes that adorn his shaved head, and you see like almost like these little bones sticking out of his scalp, and tattoos all over his scalp. You know, he is lightly dressed, showing off all of his muscles and tattoos, and he sort of motions to all of you. You bring staff.
Yes.
I kind of push them aside a little bit and walk forward. Plug finds staff, and I hold it aloft.
Yes.
Plug is a
We're side
limelight-hogging
heroes.
son of a bitch.
I turn to them both and say, "You quiet now. You listen. I am the captain now."
Did you teach him the word captain?
I was trying to teach him about boats. You see, captain's ships,
Yeah,
I figured it
I-
might trigger something in his mind.
Yes. I think naval
Also,
hierarchy is definitely the route to go with these
Keeps
people
talking
who
about
don't support-
starboard now as well. It's very confusing.
Really go for starboards.
So he sort of opens his arms toward our friend here, Plug, as he sort of goes to give you a big embrace and sort of thanks you for your service.
I kind of accept this willingly. Like, no one, like, I'm kind of the outcast and the runt a little bit. There's kind of muted laughter normally when I walk through the village because I'm a clear 1/2 foot taller than everyone else. Even the women. So I feel like I've been accepted. So I kind of reach in with the hug.
All right.
And then I've got this brimming smile on my face, and
Plug is true man now. He sort of motions to all of the and you see like a look of sort of a moment of decision crosses the face of many of the people who have spent their lives persecuting you, Plug, as they're forced to think about their life choices, and and he sort of motions for all of you to sort of come inside, and who these people? He motions to, as you've not mentioned your assistants at all up until this point, he motions to the two strange foreigners.
At this point, I shall. So Kragg will pull a very ridiculous hero pose, and at the same time conjure an ice pillar that like bumps him up to head height for these people.
And I try and do like a kind of like hero pose, and then I like show the magic crystal.
I am Kragg, slayer of the giant beast, and this is Zane, old
The immortal.
artist. Also
Zane the
apparently
immortal.
an immortal. We are mighty wizards of lands beyond the sea, the great blue expanse.
The watery thing
Wizard.
over there.
What
that
wizard?
maybe you have boats that travel on,
Bimbo's
but we'll
muted.
get back to
It's
that.
no shame.
Oh, what is wizard? You are wizard?
Yes.
I do the exact same magic and just take ice crystals move out of my hand.
I probably
magic.
cast up some like
He sort
sparks
of
and
he
stuff.
sort of takes his staff and he sort of pokes at the icicles while they're sort of like swirling around. Sort of knocks a few of them out of the air. And
Do be
okay,
careful with that.
magic. Yes, you magic. Very good.
I kind of whisper into Plug's ear. They
You are
make
Plug, buddy.
They make dreams with ladies, and I whisper into the chief's ear.
Big dream with lady. He sort of gives you. He sort of eyes you all. When you meet lady, he gives you all like a very. And you guys are inside of his tent, and he looks as if his gaze is piercing to your very soul as he stares you all down, and you feel a bit of a tension as you mentioned the lady.
Yes, there was a lady in a dream.
Tramp. Sorry.
Some magic.
What's her name?
Her name was Aubrey.
Asher. Asher Zane. Asher. The name was Asher.
Oh, no, that was my next dream. Yes. Asher was her name in that one.
Yeah, Asha. Yes, why Asha visit you? What do you need?
We need a boat. We need a boat. A big water cup. We come from like a raft.
He goes and reaches for a water skin.
Yeah.
And he gets folded over your head.
He's
No.
very thirsty. He always talk of
I'm like-
water cup.
I'm like, no, we need to walk on water with
You
wood.
are really going to
Cannot
complicate
walk
this
on
issue.
water. Impossible.
We need to sail on.
Cannot be done.
Why?
You can't walk on water. Are you crazy?
The lady, the woman, Asher, she came on a big structure before when she came to the island.
No,
It crashed.
structure. No, not possible.
How did we get here? We weren't born here, you see. We came to the island with magic.
Zane, how about tomorrow we take them to the boat
And then
show it to them. Hold back on that for a bit, you crazy mind wizards. And we just ask them to rebuild it.
Yes. Good idea. That was my next plan. So why don't
Wonderful.
we show you our water magic? Powerful water magic.
Okay.
We bring you stuff.
Why we help you?
We bring you stuff.
No, Plug brings stuff.
Plug bring stuff.
We're with Plug.
I'm
We
kind of
assisted
mimicking
Plug.
all of this chief's mannerisms. I'm trying to match him and fit in with him. So every time he looks cross or puffs himself up, I'm doing the same. Every time he looks shocked, I'm doing it half a second later. So I'm really trying to copy.
We're with Plug. You see?
Plug stuff. Plug have stuff.
Well, Did they help you, Plug?
Yes, Plug.
Plug get stuff. Plug hand to you. Plug.
Assistant heroes.
No.
Assistant heroes.
No assistant. Is that right?
That's right.
Plug!
Plug get stuff.
Plug.
They talk bad butt.
It's never some
And
magic.
ship.
Plug, we know, chieftain, we know about the Wipuni. We've been to their camp. We can tell you their weaknesses.
Also, Asher said that we should help you, and if we helped you, you'd help us.
So,
Quid pro
How you
quo.
know Asha? How you know Asha?
Shoot
Magic.
dangerous in a dream. Magic.
Asha no like you. She like me.
she did. She said that you were very powerful and handsome, and that we should see you as our chieftain.
She mentioned your bone ridges.
Your bones. Your
Described them as ridgy.
Oh man.
Just
Plug,
relaying her
tell
message.
her about the lady
Right.
we saw
Yes.
in our sleep.
She says she like this.
Yes.
She likes that. Oh yes, she likes that. All right. She wants some of that. That's good. And
Oh God, no.
well, she said. She said that you would. She would be very interested if you helped us. You see.
Okay.
You're making promises we can't keep,
Asha
Zane.
said help you. Asha
She
says
did.
help you.
Yes.
Okay.
Lady say
We have-
help.
Wapungo helps then. Very good.
Thank you, chieftain.
Wonderful.
Very good. Your friends. See, he goes to sort of pat you on the back, and his oafish hand nearly knocks you sort of on your face.
Straight off my ice pillar onto the ground. I was like, savages.
I've leaned to Chief. I say, lady say treat people well, and I point to these two. Lady
Okay.
say assistant chief, and I point to Plug.
Assistant is a very long word that these people have learned.
I assume you don't have deception, so that's going to be roll a d20 on that one.
She said assistant. It's just like a word that he's heard us say.
And you can roll. You can re-roll because you would have advantage given the circumstances. So
Well, that's
Hey!
actually, you need to re-roll that because you forgot to put the exclamation point so that it explodes.
So
you kidding me?
more 20s.
No
Come
more
on.
exclusives. 17, the perfect
That
number.
is a 37.
37.
What?
Beautiful.
Plug is
Nailed
so convincing. that Kragg and Zane like.
We believe
She did say
it.
that, didn't she?
Yeah.
She did say that, didn't she? Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She really had faith in Plug's leadership skills.
I almost
I feel
forgot
like he's gone a long
about
way.
that. Yeah. Anyway,
His economic policy has really got a handle on things.
so the chief looks at you for a second, sort of like skeptically for a moment, and then, okay, Plug, assistant chief, as he slaps Pug on the back.
I grow that half foot taller, kind of suddenly, just out of pride.
Perfect.
And I say, Bloodfist tell people, and I point out the door. Bloodfist tell people.
Yes, of course.
People listen, Bloodfist. And I'm kind of excited. I'm almost going into a rage of just excitement.
And in this intersection in time of chaos, as you're sort of walking out, and he sort of nods approval as you require that he tell the people that you are the assistant chief. And as you guys sort of are stepping outside, when he's going to gather the people's attention, he just sort of naturally, without any thought to it, goes to reach for the staff that you're holding as he like and this is happening in a split second, but it feels like a year as your character ponders the
Okay, so okay, as he goes to take the staff, I bring my other fist and smash him in the face.
Plug, why?
Black staff!
So
Oh my god.
we're gonna take advantage of this opportunity because we don't talk about this effect very much, but we have what's called the defend or interrupt action. So we could have our friend here either use ice or our friend Zane, depending on who feels the inclination, if you want to, use enchantment to sort of cancel out the effect of what is about to transpire here, if you want.
Oh gosh.
Zane is busy, like, going
Yeah.
for his sketch, like, going for his notebook, like, this is interesting behavior.
Oh, no. Zane is the one who could possibly smooth, because I can't just freeze one of them and it not be weird. If I freeze Plug who takes stuff, I froze the assistant.
Like an ice shield, you know, like a layer of ice that.
But I have to declare war on one of them to get this to do anything.
Well, it's up to you.
It's like I'm just saying, like, oh, Plug.
Okay, so no stopping him. All right, so Plug's rolling.
I can't.
Can't even.
I'm not raging anymore, so.
Well, if he kills him, it's good for us, kind of. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't really know. Can we just alpha strike the chief?
And
Well, I don't-
25 punch to
It's
the
like, oh, Plug new chief,
Okay,
Plug new
25.
stuff.
All right, so you're 25 to hit the chief. You do, in fact, give the chief a bloody nose as you haul off and nail him square on the nose. You see blood starts
Get it,
to
boy.
sort of come down his face here. Do you guys join in, or are you just observing here? The other two.
I'm definitely I'm definitely observing at this point as I see him punch him, and I'm like, is he the chief now?
I just throw my hands up and like kind of step away, like, oh, I'm not involved. But if you like saw behind me, I'm just like, I think with the backs of my like fingers, like sketching sigils in the air, preparing to summon ice. Bad things about to happen.
Prepare to enslave, just in case.
All right.
You need.
Very good.
Can I shout something as I'm doing this?
Yes, absolutely.
Can I say, you help Plug help you with people. You want off island, you help Plug. And then I kind of dive back into the
And then we're like, you heard the man, kill him. And then
All right. Well, okay. This seems to be
So
how the
roll,
savages do business.
So, roll another d6 for me there, Gareth, as you discover one of the traits of the staff as you're holding it in one hand is that whatever your primary attack mode is, you get advantage 1 on that. Okay, so it doesn't affect the roll. But you have advantage 1 from wielding the staff in one hand.
Lovely. Also, because we had that nap, do my feats reset? I'm not sure how.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, so you would...
I got the option to rage again. Lovely.
Yeah. Actually, it doesn't matter too much. I think it's 24 hours and not sleeping, I believe.
Okay.
So in that case, but you can, of course, take the second level of fatigue, and
Yes.
you'll be fine. So, all right, cool. So that's in place. So next is the king's go, or the chieftain's go, as he hauls off, and he just sort of stands his ground, and he sort of wipes the blood away from his nose, and then turns around, and so actually you tried to convince him. So let's have you. What we're going to do is we're going to have you roll a might check, but then in your effort to convince him, you find that the staff makes you more persuasive. So you'll use your might since you are using threatening, a sort of threat to convince him. So you'll actually have an additional 2 advantage for this, what would be normally a persuasion roll. However, in this case, you're using might instead to persuade him.
Might makes right.
So that is like a crazy ton of dice.
Bloody 13, mate.
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy.
Oh, buddy.
I'm a lesser. He's not going to bow down to me.
He looks at the. You see a sort of just a sort of blood rage come over him as he looks at the staff, and you just you see in his eyes the exact same feeling that you have from your own perspective, which is, this is mine, this staff. As he goes and hauls off and hits you, rolling a 19.
So he exceeds my toughness by 1.
Okay, so you take 1 point of damage, and when that happens, he literally sort of comes around and he does a sort of hammer fist right to your head, as you sort of go flying back, and you actually get pushed back 15 feet as he sends you flying with his mighty blow. And next is your go again. We're just going to alternate between you two until somebody else tells me they're stepping in.
I'll step in at this point.
Yeah, I think as we see, like, oh, this hasn't worked, and he's like, help me, and we're like, alright, fuck it. we know one savage better than the other savage, so...
Alright, roll it then.
Better the savage you know.
Yep. So we're rolling our agility, or just...
Well, whatever attack you want to do. I don't know what kind of attack you're doing.
Zane, do you wish to go first?
Sure, I'll go first.
You are the more peaceful of the two of us.
Indeed. I'm just gonna just gonna draw my longbow, I guess.
Alright, the peaceful one is going for aggro, so I shall follow suit.
I was gonna point blank shoot this guy and be like, well, and I draw my massive longbow, like ridiculously close to the guy, and fire for a 14.
14 versus his agility. His evasion is 14, so your arrow sort of glances off of his armor as you nearly strike and draw blood, but fail to.
I'm so sorry, Chief. No.
Yeah. Allow me to show you how. Oh.
Okay.
Allow me to show you how it's done, Zane. And I as I've sketched these blue sigils with my knuckles, whip them round, and then out of the knuckles, small little cuts open, and I just shoot icicles at his back.
So
for 28.
I need him to be enslavable.
Yeah, we'll keep. So no worries, we keep the roll. But I wanted to rewind 1 second because
sorry.
That's okay. So Zane's attack is the first that we've had of a sort of. Well, actually, no. Okay, I'll get to that next. Actually, that's an interesting thing. So what I want to do, so everybody knows, I wanted to try out something that I've been trying to figure out with some rules. We used to have. Last combat we had, we haven't really had combat so far, not very much anyway, and on a miss, something bad could happen. So what I want to do for today, because I'm just testing this out, see how it plays out, is see what happens if when somebody misses, the players as a group come to a consensus about what happens that's sort of it goes wrong, right? So sometimes nothing can happen. I'm going to leave that as an option, even though, yeah, that's obviously not something that we want to have happen all the time. And then other things are you do 5 damage of friendly fire, so your arrow hits somebody else would be an example, or, one of the players gets pushed, 5 feet in the wrong direction, they slip and fall, or one of the monsters gets to move into a more advantageous position. So that's my thought on that. So, but we'll say that since you rolled a 14, which is exactly his defense, we'll say that that's the one place where truly nothing happens. So next up is we have Kragg with a 28.
Yep.
And
blasting icicles from my knuckles.
All right. So let's see. His evasion is a 14, so you do 14 points of damage, and you inflict a bane against Chief Bloodfist.
Bane him.
Yeah, I will go for the instead of the ice that burrows inwards, seeking to stop his heart. I will go for the ice that explodes, and I go for the immobile bane.
Okay.
I believe that's one I can do, isn't it?
Yep, and also Kragg, Plug, and Gareth, your character also, you did exactly 10 points of damage, so you also have the option of inflicting a bane. So
okay, I'll say that, can I do a blinded? So maybe I hit him square in the eye and it's kind of swelled up a little bit.
Yeah, that's perfect. So yeah, he's blinded. Wow. All right, very good. So then that's you guys, and then he's immobile and blinded. Very well, and he is now going to have disadvantage. What was it? What did we say? Oh no, that's what it is. So blinded makes it so there's a 50-50 chance of missing. So high is he succeeds, low is he misses with his attack. So he does succeed at his attack, and then this is against obviously Plug. 16 versus your.
No, he doesn't hit. Toughness, is it?
Hey.
Yeah, very well. So Plug's go is next, I guess. I think, right?
Yeah,
Plug's-
yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of say that he catches me and I don't feel any effects, and I immediately kind of swing back with his staff, kind of screaming in rage before I get there to put it in dramatically. So that's going to give me 4d6, I think, because of the advantage one, and I get advantage one because of the staff.
Yep.
That's going to be a 42.
Casual 42.
Holy shit.
just a 42.
Alright, yeah, just casual 42.
You come around with a sort of uppercut, and as you uppercut him right below the jaw, you hear a distinctive snap as you see his head sort of like slouch to the side, and you snap his neck.
Is it as he's frozen? Does he just smash him apart?
Oh yeah. Well, is he frozen just like at the legs down though, right? Yeah.
Okay, parts of him are frozen, and those bits shatter, and the other parts smash like flesh in an unholy, just awful thing that we.
His neck breaks, like we said, but his legs break off.
Zane, we may have murdered the chief of one of the two factions that run this island.
I think we've
It's
also
our
made a new
second
one.
day here.
We've made a new one. Look, we broke one, but we got a new one. I point at Plug.
So I kind of reach into my waistband and I pull out a knife and I proceed to just chop this guy's head off. Like, absolutely sever it. There's blood spurting everywhere, and all you can hear is just this deep, intensive breathing of someone concentrating. He's actually, because he's a bit simple, he's putting his tongue out while he's doing it. Like when you got that simple kid who types at school with his tongue out. I'm just
Says Gareth as an IT teacher.
and then I kind of, with his head in one hand, I walk over to these two. I dip my fingers into his neck flesh, and I just draw two bloody lines across their faces to kind of initiate. And then I walk through the curtain of the tent and out to the crowd, and I just hold up this head and just release this blood-curdling roar.
Yeah!
Mother of God.
Can we
Oh my
address
God.
neck flesh? Can we address neck flesh?
Wait,
Zane,
all of that, and the only problem you have is with neck flesh.
That's my main problem, honestly.
Zane is just blocking out the part where that's on his face now. Okay, so,
Yeah, there are little pulpy bits just sort of dripping down your face.
so
long as
one of
it's
it, like,
pulpy flesh.
I feel like the bit of it fall off. So, oh my God! Oh.
Oh man, epic! All right, so we have a new chief now. So all of the people, you can see the. Anytime a chief is challenged and replaced, obviously there's quite a surprised reaction. But even more so as the runt of the litter is now taking the place of the chief, and you can see the conflict on the faces of people. What are you doing there, Gareth?
So kind of anyone that looks like they're kind of giving me the eye, like the side eye, like they might think I could take him. I'm just shoving this kind of face in their head and kind of just screaming. And
Zane is superhero posing behind you, just to be like,
corner.
we're his bodyguards. Yeah. We got this.
Oh God!
and I kind of
Kragg.
Oh,
give-
it's everywhere!
Kragg, this is essential to the enslavement. Quickly. Pose.
There's blood on my face!
There'll be a lot more blood on your face once we enslave. Quickly.
Gareth, roll me a mic check for your persuasion attempt here. As
It's only
you,
neck flesh.
do I was it 4d6 as well because of the bonus?
Yeah. So it would be advantage 2. So 26. So there are a few people who look like they look like they're about to just turn around and just challenge you right here, right now. But between the severed head and the legendary artifact, which was supposedly impossible to recover from the City of the Gods, and perhaps after all this, Plug is even an immortal. They think to themselves as they do in fact bow down and swear sort of fealty to Plug.
They're also probably terrified because 1 minute I was hugging this guy and we walked in a tent. The next minute I've come out with his severed head.
I'm like, to Kragg, I'm like,
nothing.
to Kragg, I'm like, come on, it's only a bit of neck flesh.
Don't you call it that. Oh my god. Oh.
So,
Plug! Where is shower, bath, anything?
I'm going to kind of grunt at a few people, and there's going to be kind of a gathering of maybe some of the women, some of the other people. They're going to head towards these guys. And basically what I've instructed is these are part of the tribe now. So they're going to kind of be washed and cleaned. They're probably going to get a tattoo against their will and maybe a bone shoved through some part of their body.
I am gonna murder some people in this tribe. Oh my god.
And say, you with Plug now, you do this, they listen to you.
I swear to God, if these people touch me, it's like the first one who comes near, I just like conjure an ice, it's like,
Can
Plug is kind of reaching for a bone, and
I freeze it. It sticks to his
Plug.
hand. It's so cold.
Plug, we don't need them to listen to us. We just need your help. Yes, we helped you. Now you help us.
You know one bone?
No, I'm fine for a bone right now, thank you, Plug. Maybe later.
Just like icicle blades in both hands. Going full nervous
I
breakdown.
don't need your bone right now, Plug.
How many you need to make butt?
Well, let's bring 10 men, 10 of your tribesmen.
He kind of thinks to himself, and then he begins to call the names of the people that have ever been nasty to him. It's like his nerd fantasy. So he calls all of the names of the people that have bullied him or wronged him. And he kind of gathers them together.
All right.
These men. And I kind of instruct them, you listen to these as much chief as Plug, according to you.
All right. Very well.
Kragg is still just like...
Weapons drawn, or...
I say, now, gentlemen, I'm your captain, and we're going to be making a boat together.
All right.
Now, if you wouldn't mind following me, we can begin the building process.
I don't even have the energy to tell Zane that he's a horrible human being.
He just wants off so badly. Come with me, gentlemen.
Probably a waste of breath anyway.
I realise I don't actually know where the ship is. Plug, where exactly would the crashed boat be? Do you know?
I don't know what boat is.
We need to talk to Asher. How do we find Asher? How do I go to sleep without these people putting a bone in some part of my body?
I kind of pat him on the shoulder. They scare of you.
You look over at Zane, who's getting a bone put in his body. You just let it happen. Works for me. Or better.
All better. All right.
Oh,
so
No tears, only dreams.
we'll let Kragg off the hook as you manage to sort of stand behind someone when they're like sort of looking for someone to pierce with one of these bones, and then
You were gonna say looking for someone to bone. That's just.
God damn it,
That's
Will.
what you were gonna say. You need to say it. You're just projecting
I heard you trying to think. How can I not say? How can I not say? Okay, found it.
God.
You're just projecting that on me, Will. You know.
I hear what I want to hear, Brian. What can I say?
True. It's true.
Uh,
You
Right.
you fit right in with these savages, Will. What can I say?
Zane is indeed very much at home commanding these savages, who now he believes to be his slaves. So he begins teaching them his ways.
Yeah, that's good.
Kragg, I think, just kind of finds a little place off to the side for a while and digs himself a small hole before, like, melting some ice inside it so he can scrub. Just like, almost like 20 minutes later, just like, I'm fine. Let's just never talk about that ever again. Understood? Understood. Wonderful. Let's go find. Let's go find Asher, and she can tell us where the boat is. We can do whatever that spectral bid wants, and we can leave this awful hellhole.
Gentlemen, I turn to my 10 new slaves. Do you know where Asher can be found? Chieftain liked her, the old chieftain.
Who, Asha? No, Asha.
The woman who the chieftain liked.
Blood
No,
chieftain.
Chieftain not married. Chieftain supposed to marry, but he no fine woman.
I
Well.
punch that guy in the face. I say, "Old chieftain."
Old chieftain. Old chieftain.
That's more like it, don't you forget that.
Dead man blood fist, as he sort of like wipes the blood off of his face.
I point the head towards it. Blood neck.
Blood neck. Yes, blood neck. Blood neck no marry. Not fine woman.
No woman, then. Okay, well, where do we start if we can't find where this woman is? No one knows of any woman on this island. Perhaps we can contact her through magic. We can try and dream again? Maybe she'll visit us.
We try sleep.
Try sleeping. I'm sure after all that bloody murder, you might be up for a nap.
Plug want to try new tent.
Good idea. I say we try and we sleep on it, and if she doesn't visit us in the night, then we just set off in a random direction and hope that it's that way.
You share Plug's tent.
Okay.
Wait. and then I turn to the crowd
I'm not going to say it.
and I say, "Which one you want?"
Well, plug me in anyway. Really, it'll do.
Wow.
Which you want woman? Which
Hey,
woman?
plug me in anywhere. Yes. Plug me in anywhere.
Just
I know.
just walk into this tent, find like the cleanest, least bloody part of ground, sketch a line as if like this is my part and this is everyone else's part, and then along that line just raise an ice wall. It's like, I'm going to sleep.
You do that. You are undisturbed as you do that. That's fine.
And at the same time, very disturbed.
I
Yes.
imagine Plug takes a couple of women back with him that night to celebrate, but then falls asleep afterwards very quickly.
All right, very well. So you guys sleep, and as you sleep, you have a dream, and it almost feels so. You do in fact see Asha in your dream. However, there's something different about her sort of demeanor as as she sort of approaches you. She almost has something of a scowl on her face as she seems slightly perturbed by the situation. And she sort of comes up and she says, "Well, you wanted to speak to me."
Yes, we did. Welcome back to my dream world. First of all, you are welcome to be summoned here by my magic. Now, Chieftain Plug here, assuming Plug and everyone's here, Well, he has offered his assistance in finding you and in helping you so that we can get the boat with our newest slaves. So, whereabouts are you located, my dear?
Well, I have hid out in the only place that none of these savages dare to go. I am in the Dragon's Maw, the
Of course you are.
dormant. Yeah.
She's within the Dragon's Maw.
Does
Do I know
does it
of
have
this
anyone
place?
who will paint blood on my face? No, it sounds lovely in comparison.
So plug. You know what the Dragon's Maw is. Unlike them, it is a cave which was formerly a volcano, and on the map it is already here, and this is up here. So that is known to your character.
So would I be scared of this? Is this something where our tribe does not go?
Yes, there is some speculation around the native peoples as to whether or not the volcano is dormant. There's a bit of an argument about that, and as such, no one has really wanted to sort of, rock the boat, although they don't know what boats
They
are.
don't want a boat. Don't want to rock the water cup.
I secretly hope we leave this village and just walk by like a luxury yacht as we walk by.
Right, exactly.
Out on the horizon, we just see like 10 ships bobbing. It's like, oh.
We don't call those boats. Oh, you mean boats? Oh.
Oh.
And so my demeanor would change when she said, "No, go Dragon Moor, dangerous, fire."
Well, yes, these things are always dangerous and fiery. You've just killed a chieftain. You're not afraid, are you, Plug?
Plug not afraid, but people are.
Whoa,
Well, you have
Plug,
to show
Plug.
them, don't you?
Plug, we murdered a man for you. We helped you get that shiny goddamn stick, and now it is our turn.
We are putting our foot down, mister. Our collective foot. Our collective slug-like foot. Together. Don't question it.
Like,
you
Plug
sampling
takes
some-
far too long weighing this over his head.
Getting
He's
thrown
kind of
down.
having a bit of a conversation with himself. He said, Plug will take you. Plug say
Good
thank
man.
you for your help.
Thank you, Plug. Thank you. Good lad.
Lady, are you be alive there? Are you alive? Or you a ghost? Are you ghost?
She so sorry. She said so. Yes, I am located. I'm hiding here. It's the only place where none of these savages could find me. As she sort of seems to be more comfortable addressing Zane and Kragg.
You wed Bloodfist? You marry Bloodfist?
No.
No. She was gonna marry someone else. So, Plug. Hi.
You marry Plug. You marry Plug?
And she sort of, you sense this awkward moment. Of course, if you rescue me, I'll marry you. Of course, Plug.
Plug help. Plug help, girly men and lady.
Okay.
Thank you,
right.
Plug.
I kind of then shush them over. Do your talking. I help in morning. And then in the dream, Plug lays down and goes to sleep.
He has to go deeper.
He goes into the second level.
Level 2. Yes.
Krug's down there, like, you're on a rail track.
He finds someone who looks exactly like Kragg. He's like, I am Mr. Charles. I am the head of your internal dream security. You've been trained for this, Plug.
So Plug just sort of passes back out of the dream as you all are left standing there speaking to Asha. I certainly am glad I recruited the help of a native for this session. I gotta say, Plug.
So it's just that happens.
Thank you.
I just look
It's
towards.
been so much fun.
This has been some insanity right here. I'd look towards towards Zane. It's like, were you sampling some of Gruak's supply on our way here, buddy?
What do you mean, his supply?
Okay. Did you have anything off of that Gruak gave you?
No, not at all. Gruak, I don't know what you mean.
All right,
Certainly
well,
not any
I-
slug juice. That would be ridiculous.
Oh, all right, Asher. Talk to us. What are we walking into?
The Dragon's Maw.
Yes, but is it actually?
She sort of says that at the exact same time that Zane does, actually.
Yeah, we connect.
good.
She sort of she gives you a sort of the sort of look, sort of side eye.
Just, I think I attempt to summon a giant icicle just to make myself feel more in control of the situation. It's like, that's better. So tell me about the Dragon's Maw. Beyond the name, and I swear to God, if you just say it's a volcano, like, what are we walking into? Is there anything beyond just lava? Are there actual dragons?
No dragons. Of course not. I wouldn't. Why would I seek to have my rescuers destroyed by a dragon? That would be terrible.
She's not an idiot.
Yes, but she's also a strange spectral woman who appears to us in a dream.
I like this particular strange spectral woman who's come to us in a dream, so...
Zane, you'd like any woman as long as she has a heartbeat, and we're not entirely sure this one does.
That is a vicious lie, my lady. That is a vicious lie.
Sorry,
and
I gave him too much credit.
Would you let him speak to you this way as she looks at Zane and motioning towards Kragg?
I'm gonna freeze someone.
I'm like, it is terrible. Back at the academy, I command more respect, but out here in these wastes, well, all signs of authority have gone but to those who can kill.
Just thunk as the icicle lands. Goes, fine. Let's just go there. Fine. We'll just die. Be great. Whatever. Peace. I look for a door. I'm too worked up to fall asleep, so I look for like some kind of exit.
I look back at her and I'm like,
dream one into existence.
I look back at her and I'm like, dwarves, am I right?
Just a
These guys.
parade of sweat.
These
Kragg
crazy
is
guys.
cracking. Kragg isn't built for island life. It's not his.
He needs a cave.
He needs high society, fine dining, waiting staff, not blood in his face and spectral women to tell him that it's like, oh yeah, go to a place called the Dragon's Maw. It'll be fine.
I say, I do apologize for my companions. They're really worked up. We've got trapped on this island. Usually they're a bit more, sophisticated like myself. But we will, in short time, be with
You
you.
are very sophisticated.
Plug
Thank
starts loudly snoring in his dream and then farts a little.
Plug.
So,
Need a new plug. Seems. Well, I say, thank you, my lady. I will be with you shortly. We must make haste.
I cannot. I am greatly looking forward to our meeting.
And I. It will be nice to meet one more intelligent than my current companions. And far more beautiful as well.
Indeed. As she sort of comes over and sort of caresses your arm.
Distant sound of Kragg throwing icicles into the wall of a dream. Asserting
Right.
control.
Right, well, I'll be heading off then before this turns into a completely different kind of dream. And yes, I'll see you very, very soon, my dear. And and then I turn awkwardly.
A sort of wind picks up as she sort of blows away into the sort of into the dream, and you all fade into darkness as you go back into a natural sleep, as it were, and wake up. You in fact you in fact wake up early evening because it was around high noon when Chief Bloodfist was challenged and executed, and then you all went to sleep a few hours after that, and it's now midnight as you wake up.
Well, gentlemen, it looks like we may as well be on our way, seeing as we've had some sleep.
Plug wants food first.
Yes, Plug will eat on the way. Come on.
Can't you get to go, Plug?
Plug in and go.
Plug, get your and he struggles for the word slaves.
Zane, what are you
right.
teaching? Oh God.
If they say my slaves, then they're my slaves.
Yes, that's how that traditionally
Plug
works.
wanders off to kind of gather them.
It's how it begins, Zane. That's a Kragg.
Yes, and you're
It's
proud
how
of
it
that, which is
begins.
the most worrying part, Zane.
I'm trying to get us off this island, I'll have you know. And if slavery is the way to do it, then by golly, slavery is the way we'll do it, boy. Back in my day, it's far more common.
I create face earplugs. Oh, thank God.
I
He
had
starts
enough,
lecturing on history, and I'm just like,
enough of all this political correctness.
Back in my day, that's how we did it. That's great.
Back when the Empire was strong, I'll have you know.
I think the earplugs literally expand out till it's very obvious. It's like, it's like the entire back of my head is encased in ice. I'm like, yes, I am paying attention to you. I
I'm just
believe
like,
your
right.
opinion is valid. And
All right,
we wait.
well. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, so we wait for Plug to kind of gather the convoy.
All right. So you guys get your convoy of 10 strapping young lads to come with, and
More menacing when you put it that way, but yeah, I guess.
yeah. Hey, look,
Yeah, we had. I prefer the term slaves perfectly. Wait a minute. Anyway, yeah, we head off with the tribesmen.
the tribesmen.
Yes.
And what is our schedule for today? In the past, we've tried to fit in the Q&A thing. We don't have to. It really doesn't matter to me either way.
I'm happy to carry on playing for another half an hour if you want to carry on, or we can do a Q&A. It's really up to you, Brian.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I am not watching chat as per usual. I'm a sort of Neanderthal with limited number of input channels. So if you all lots of questions, then we'll do that. But if not, we'll just continue on.
Well, let's play for a little bit, and I'll start looking out for questions as we wander on. So, people in chat, if you have questions about the way Open Legend works and all that kind of jazz, throw them at us, and we'll get to the dragons more, and we'll have a look.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And never mind the fact that these sort of shady characters have derailed any attempt at actually rolling dice in this role-playing game. But
Getting by on fictional positioning? Would we do that?
Sorry, I rolled a 41. Everything else is invalid. 42, sorry, yes.
Yeah. Why do you need more rolls? You just get one huge
Yeah, that's
roll.
literally the only roll. I'm done. There we go.
I think that is my main sort of marketing angle here is I just hope to have someone roll a 40 or better every time I show this, and then people are like, well, damn, I think we need to be playing this game. What are we doing, you know?
It's a pretty good feeling. It felt like it touched the floor, if you know what I mean. I was very happy.
Yeah,
Dear Lord.
Fucking God.
Will knows what I mean.
Will knows what's up.
Tell this one story. I had you guys. Gareth wasn't here, but I ran this at an actual IRL convention a week ago, and we had one of the spiders rolled a 48 when charging the cleric who was trying to stand in the way so that the ranger didn't get taken out. And another character was playing someone who was an arcane protector who specialized in defending. So like when using the defense action that we talked about before, she gets advantage, right? So she goes ahead and like, well, what can I lose? His character is dead if I don't attempt to do this. So, you know, whatever, right? Because I rolled a 20 followed by a 19 and then a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, she proceeds to roll like something like 10 or 12 on the d20, but she rolls 6, 6, whatever on 4d6, and then she rolls 6, 6, and then she rolls another 6, and the total ended up being like 37. And so it went from this guy is DOA completely gone to he only takes like 7 damage or something like that.
He is a god.
It was a great moment. Anyway.
But she only rolled a 37, not a 42. That's the key thing we should take away from it. Yeah.
Yes, that is more. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's.
I'm keeping hold of that.
It's fine.
Let's go to
Gareth
my
is
fucking
fine.
CV.
Yeah, your story is great. Your story's great, but I'm better. Let's just remember that. Very important. I am
The
better.
next time you tell this story on anyone else's stream, you tell them about a guy called Gareth who rolled a 42.
You
I'm
don't.
so hungry for fame. There are some questions.
For attention, Gareth was he was alienated by his tribe, thought little of the sort of runt, and then he turned up and rolled a 42, and his entire life changed on that day.
Yeah.
His heart grew 3 sizes that day.
And his underwear size.
Oh.
So there are a few genuine questions from people.
We've had some questions. I have.
Aside from the general ban.
questions. You mean people actually interested? That's good. All right.
Yes. So we had from Son of Joxer. Was asking, so the racial descriptions in Open Legends core rules are sort of vague. Was the Fey Touch actually meant to cover a broad range of races such as gnomes, sprites, nymphs, attack, or are the Fey Touch something more specific like tieflings or shifters?
Brian. So the idea is that I'm trying to find a way to separate the economy of the mechanics, where you have attributes and feats, and I'm trying not to pollute those two pools with the stuff from racial bits. So there's 2 approaches that I have in mind for how races could be handled in Open Legend. One is that you could just straight up decide that you're going to play a vampire, and you actually grow by using the enchantment attribute. You increase your score there. You use the entropy attribute, you increase your score there, and you sort of grow into a full-fledged vampire. And then the idea, though, yes, as you noted, is that the racial default abilities that are free are more flavor-oriented. So we would try to, if you're like if you're a shapeshifter, then it may be, an example of a shapeshifter ability that I just came up with now, because that's just how I roll. Is that
that's just how good I am.
Yeah. No, but would be something like
I'm just a grifter like that. No big deal.
Once per session, when you're caught in a lie, you can wiggle your way out of it and cancel the failure of something like that, because you're sneaky like that, right? So, but because there are already ways for you to be a shapeshifter in the system, right? So you just would just purchase that. That part of the system is that's on purpose. The idea that you don't think of the rules as defining who your character is. You take your character and then you use rules to enable the bits and pieces of your character that are important to the story. So if you're a vampire, then you buy the enchantment attribute and then you charm people. That's it, So, that kind of thing.
Okay. It's the design philosophy of kind of, you can take the sort of broad strokes abilities and flavor them. Like I just have a stat that's called, I have 5 energy, and I choose to make that as I do shit with ice. And when I want to hold people, I use the Immortal Bane, and when I want to bleed people out, I have ice that hunts down the warmest parts of them and stops it. So it's very much like, take the broad strokes and make it fit into how you would like it to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. The idea is that the rules only step in a way to prevent power creep. right? Because if you have invested and paid for with your character building points, if you paid for the ability to be good, as Finbar just described, then it should be like it's okay. You can just use that dice roll. We don't, and so we're not trying to just define like 100 different spells that all have different damage totals. Instead, it's like, okay, I want to always slow people down as a cold mage, so I take Bane Focus slow, and then every time I do 5 instead of the normal 10 damage, then it triggers that particular Bane, and that's my focus or my emphasis for that character.
So, first of all, we had a follow, so thank you, Danny27, for the follow.
Thanks, Danny.
And a scholar. The other thing was, so from Irving Wolfen, we had general question. So, what would you say is the primary thing about this game that could draw people to it more than 5e or other systems say?
What would I say? Repeat the question?
So this actually was kind of to everybody, but like, so what would you say is the primary thing about this game that would be the draw over 5e or the great and multitude out there of fantasy role-playing game systems?
Yeah, I'll just answer for the two main ones, I guess. Basically, so with Pathfinder, I found that over the years when I was playing Pathfinder, it became it's cool because there's a lot of customization options that they offer. But eventually, it got to a point where every time part of me would dread the time when you would level up, because you're sitting there and you're thinking about, what am I going to do with my character when I level up, because you have to pick from 5,000 feats, you know what I mean, and that can be really frustrating. So with this, you tell the story and the flavor how you want to, but we boil down the mechanical bits that are like the most significant, like advantage is one of the most significant ones, and then situational advantage that can be like cheaper or whatever. But anyway, and then there are other feats in there for shape shifting and all kinds of stuff. So that's the advantage, I think, over Pathfinder, is that you get the same ability to customize as Pathfinder, but it's more freeform. And then when you compare to like 5th edition, for example, 5th edition is cool because they don't have as much of a rules bloat. They've introduced stuff in a more slow way, which is cool. I applaud Wizards of the Coast for doing that. I think that's a good move. But then, we're back to the feel that 2nd edition had, where you have these real specific classes. Yes, they've enhanced it where there are different minor nuances that you can tweak and stuff like that, right, for your character. You're not just exactly the same as everyone else of your class, but it's nothing like this, where it's totally open. I had a guy who said, I'm playing like a healer that uses some kind of shawl and does mass area of effect healing. You can't do that in like other systems, right? So that's that part. And then it's also similar to like Dungeon World, where those sort of systems are more freeform, which is a lot of there's a lot of that with Open Legend. And the difference that I'll say there is I'm really specifically trying to be the line in between, because I found that games like Dungeon World, yes, there are some diehard fans out there, but the most common reaction that I've heard to Dungeon World is people love it. They borrow the ideas for how to run the story of their game, but they use the other system that they always used to begin with. Right. Whereas with this, it's my hope is that people will just use the system and not have the need to sort of like just borrow the idea, because like it's so free form with Dungeon World that when two people have a different creative direction about what's happening with the flow of the story, there's not the dice are there to help resolve that conflict. That's the whole point. For me, that's the fun of role playing games, or part of it anyway. And that part is largely removed with those games that are like super rules light. So this is like right in between the rules light versus the more heavy, approach or something like that. That's my thought on it anyway.
Yeah. Finbar, what would you say on that point? Because it was asked the group, I guess.
Yeah, I think my very quick one will be just that making characters is so very, very quick.
Yeah.
I mean, Kragg feels like one of my more fleshed out characters that I think I've played, and I took a pre-gen off the site, looked at it for 20 seconds, and went, okay, I understand roughly how this guy fits together, and that took me like 10 minutes. And
Yeah.
Kragg has taken shape a little over the course of the game, but still, it's like, making Kragg was so quick, whereas I have tried to do like a one-shot in an evening before, and character creation... as much as I
Takes
love
hours.
it, I both love it and hate it. I was like, this is real fun, because I love getting immersed in mechanics, but when you've got someone who needs to just kind of handhold through it, it's like, this is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, exactly. I
need
think
a lot.
for me, it's probably like at this point, it's because it's free as well. It's a huge thing, so you can just go and download the rules. You know,
That is a huge deal, actually.
in our
yes.
current age, trying to sell a 30 quid rulebook to someone who's got a lot of other systems is going to be difficult. So the fact that you can just pick up and play a game for yourself before any kind of money is involved.
Barrier
That's a
to
big
entry is very, very easy here. Like, I mean, well, to get into Pathfinder, it takes like £30 just to get the core book, and then you've got another 20 for the monster manual, another 20 on top of that for like some loot, and like to get into these sorts of things with like the fancy art and stuff, it takes a lot of cash. Whereas, yeah, if you're a new player, it's like this system is relatively straightforward and also free.
Yeah, that's
a good thing.
that's a big part. That's a big part of my motivation too. When I created the system, I was specifically thinking about how, you know, when I was 13 years old, it was a big deal just to get the rule books when I first started playing role-playing games, and that's the idea. Is like, here's a way for anybody to get initial access, and then we'll find other ways for the actual company to subsist. So you'll be able to buy the color PDF and the hardcover book and stuff like that.
Nice.
But the base rules will always be free as a way to introduce people to the system. So that's something I learned in my day job. I'm a software engineer, and
Okay.
we have a huge amount of the sort of the iceberg beneath the surface of the water in what I build in my day job is mostly open source stuff. So I've always been inspired by the open source community, and I'm a contributor on many different software projects that are like, you know, used by many companies. Not that I'm the only one, but it's like you're one of, you know, 20 people that are contributing. So my hope is that this will be a community thing as well in that sense. So check out the Trello board. You know, like you can go to contribute on the Open Legend website. There's a Trello board where we discuss all the mechanics and stuff like that. So
Yeah. So one more question from Nadir, which is seconded by Vox in a Box. He asks, how does this game prevent characters from being one-trick ponies?
Well, I think it's almost. That's a cool question, because I don't know if I ever thought of it in those exact terms before, but actually, I would say it's almost impossible to be a one-trick pony in the system, because all of the different attributes which you're going to use as a primary thing when you roll, you know, whether you're energy for like Kragg, or, you know, enchantment for Zane, or might for Plug, all of those have many potential banes that trigger off of them. So it's almost hard to be one-dimensional, because you know, you have to choose to be one-dimensional, because the whole point is remove these status effects from spells, you know, make spells so that they behave in a similar way to melee attacks, where you can still blind someone just like was done today, right? And so
Blinded and immobilized.
Go ahead, what?
He's blinded and immobilized, I think.
I know, right? He didn't stand much of a chance, that poor guy. But anyway, I would say it's hard to build a one-dimensional, and the thing is, it's easy to fall into the trap, which is just not reading the rules. If you never bother to read what the Bane options are, then that's how you get a one-dimensional, boring kind of a game. But the difference is you don't have to read 200 spells. You just read like these 30 Bane effects and just try to keep them in mind, and there you go. You know.
Yeah, I have the website tab open. I filtered by energy, and there's like 10. And I mean, like, I have rolled one stat, I think, other than for initiative, and using that stat, I have managed to murder things, do advanced murdering of things, where not only do I hurt them, but I inflict additional hurting later on. I have bounced spiders off of cliffs by
Yeah.
force moving them off the side of cliffs, which was very good fun. Frozen things in place, and yeah, like I have used one stat to do a lot of like mechanically very different feeling things,
Yeah.
which I think you don't necessarily like. D&D, on the other hand, you have a cantrip called Firebolt, which the game kind of almost specifically says is not able to light things on fire, and is just very specifically, you flicker this in a person's face to hurt them, but it isn't proper fire. Yeah. There's a lot of room in here for, like, you might still be honing in on one stat, but that stat can, like, do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, let me put this in our Skype chat. You guys can drop it in because since you mentioned that, I think it's a good time to this is an article that my editor Ish Stabos wrote about exactly what Finbar just described. So I recommend checking it out for people in chat.
Yeah.
So anyway, go
on. You got anything else that you gentlemen have seen in the chat that you want to bring up here?
Son of Doxer said, a friend of mine, on a new question, expressed a concern about not earning XP in Open Legend. Would it be accurate to say that Open Legend is mission or quest based in its leveling process?
I've always this is an opinionated decision that I've made because sometime in the next hopefully a couple weeks or so, I'm going to be releasing some GM components to the rules for like how to build monsters and encounters and stuff like that. And one of the things is I've gone with a way of building them that's sort of multifaceted, but the number component of it is a little mushy. It's not easy to just say, oh, each one has a value of X, and so its total XP value is whatever. And I've always found the way that I feel bad for the people that are actually authors for these other systems that have these really complex XP like values. Like I can't imagine. I know, it's like I think it's terrible. I think it's awful. And so one of the fun things about Open Legend is so much of the decision of how the combat ends is about who happens to like roll that 42 first, really, that it kind of helped it. Yeah, exactly. It kind of fixes a lot of that problem, where like, it's like, we need to have these, because when you're talking about like DPS, like in a MMORPG or something, a lot of other tabletop role playing games handle things that way, and so you do need to know like what is your DPS. Well, with this, it's so much of it is just this wild swings that I feel like it lends itself to like a real fun storytelling thing, and I'm not really. So anyway, to answer the question about leveling, right? To get back to the point, is I think that. I have personally removed XP from my D&D and Pathfinder games a long time ago, and
similarly, yeah.
I really thought that was great, and I've never ever regretted it. So I think that it's just one of those things. It's an opinion thing, and I think that you'll find that the effort in trying to calculate what things should have been in terms of the numeric thing is just. Open Legend is all about reducing complexity, just like Finbar mentioned with character creation. From a GM's perspective, when I create a monster, I can just like pick some hit points out and some defenses, and then pick a Bane off of the shelf and say, oh, it's like a cobra that spits blinding poison, right? So I just say, okay, it has Bane Focus blinded. Anytime it does 5 damage, it blinds the target, and it's got these defenses and this hit points. And it takes me, my prep time for running games is like almost nothing, and that's exactly one of the things I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I agree. Similarly, with taking XP out of anything, and Ned in chat says I've never awarded XP except for like Shadowrun and stuff in the past. So yeah, I can't remember the last time I calculated XP for an encounter reward and then gave that number out to the party. It's just way too much maths.
Yeah, and it's more fun to just say like, hey, here's a particular like a high point in the story arc, and so everybody levels up. So that's kind of the goal here.
Definitely, yeah, pushes it towards more story arc stuff. Yeah, low prep, exactly. The less the better. So yeah, I think unless you guys got any more questions, we have satisfied chat. Or any general comments from Gareth, because this is your first time from playing the game. Yeah,
I'll give a couple of first impressions. So, in all honesty, I picked this system up today. I started reading it about lunchtime. Realistically, there are 4 pages on the wiki you need to on the web page that you need to read to understand all of the core concepts behind the game. There are some awesome like things in here. Like advantage is amazing because rather than, for example, in D&D, you get advantage, it just gives you a slightly higher chance of rolling a hit. In this, your advantages can stack up, so maybe you're jumping off a cliff, you surprise the person, so all the things you're doing, all the creative things you put into your play are rewarded. Yeah. And not only can the advantage kind of mean that attack hits more, but you can also add up to do 42 damage. Like the exploding dice is awesome. It can take a standard attack to go and do something awesome. I really like the Bane system because I think I'm kind of a creative player. It always pisses me off you can't really do cooled shots, or there's a massive penalty behind doing cooled shots. But rather than doing cooled shots in this, you do your attack, you resolve whether it actually does anything or not, and then if you do a decent hit, you can then make your shot more creative after the fact by saying what it does. You pick the Bane, then you come up with a creative reason of what you've done. So for example, if you cripple someone, you make them immobile, maybe you take their legs out. There's some really awesome features like that. The archetypes are good. I've only really looked at Barbarian, if I'm honest, but there seems to be lots of options to kind of bring the way that you want to play into your character rather than having to stick to a set of rules.
There are no classes, just to be clear. Like, those are just examples.
Okay, sorry, yes. They're the player sheets, sorry.
No. I think it's great. What it is it's good for people to feel like there are options. I just want to make sure people know, in fact, like, you literally are unlimited in terms of your options. So, that's part of the fun.
Yeah, you don't have a book as a Bible. You have a bunch of rules which help give you kind of a play environment that you can build characters around and do what you want with them. It's really fantastic for that. I'm really impressed with the whole rule system. And if you're thinking about just wanting to play with a couple of games with your friends, you can send this website out. No one's got to spend 30 quid on a rule book, pour over every single rule. The DM doesn't have to buy guides and guides and guides and guides. There's so much there for nothing. It seems silly. I'd recommend just trying a couple of games at it and seeing how you do. Even if you just put it in as a couple of one-shots with your group on an off game or something like that. I'm very impressed.
For sure.
Cool. And well, since we're talking about it, you guys can, if someone wants to place that in there, we have the...
on it.
So the Star Once Fallen module that we're playing through, I have a little bit of a thing where I'm trying to set up a system for producing all of these rule books, and what happens with them is I need to. So a lot of publishers use InDesign. I don't want to get too technical, but basically InDesign requires a lot of work to set up, and so you have to do stuff and sort of repeat yourself a lot. I'm actually working on a way of producing the PDFs from a much more simple base format. And so that's the only reason I haven't published this adventure yet. It'll be published hopefully, in the next couple weeks. And then you'll be able to download the PDF free on the website and all that stuff. But in the meantime, there's a sneak peek for everybody in chat. And you can see what we're playing.
I believe a hot exclusive.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
That is the definition of a hot exclusive. There you go, Will.
Teach me all ways.
As I saw, there was a thing about a bride to be or something. I'm like, spoils.
On one of those pages, you've typed chief plug wrong. You've written chief plug for this, so just it's obviously work in progress, guys. Don't worry, that'll be fixed before the final.
Forgive them.
File a bug, just
report bug.
Report plug.
Report plug. Yep.
That's great. So, Gareth, were you saying something else, though? I just wanted to jump in there quick. I didn't mean to derail.
No, I think, honestly, I just encourage people to look at it. There's some really awesome things in here. Like I said, like 4 pages. If you want to get into Magic, it's not taking away from the system that it's 4 pages. They're 4 detailed pages where you want to read it properly. You just don't want to gloss over it. But then you've pretty much got all the core concepts of the games, and you can go over it. Like it's got the density if you want it. It's got the ease of Dungeon World, and which was a system I loved, but I think I will replace my Dungeon World games with this. And I'm just keen to get players. Yeah, I'm very impressed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was good fun. Definitely good fun. Enjoyed it as much, if not more. I love returning to these characters.
We made some weirdos this time.
Yeah, just returning to these characters was a lot of fun. The dynamic between Kragg and Zane
it's great.
is becoming quite funny.
I love the off the rails thing where we had. So for everybody who's watching, I thought, well, who would show up randomly, but who wasn't originally on the shipwreck? So that's where Gareth's character comes in as an actual native. And I never would have guessed that we would actually have a showdown among the chiefs. That was great. And so one of the fun things about the adventure, the way Ish wrote this adventure, it is meant to be a sandbox. So the way that they just kind of went off the rails here is like a great example of something that's exactly there's like different little areas and things are different and right, but it's a sandbox where one thing can affect others. So it's like a perfect example of that. So I really enjoyed that a lot. So.
Yeah, it was good fun just going off the rails there. Jox has got a suggestion, which is putting some blank character sheets on the site as well.
The blank. Oh yeah, you mean I guess what that means is ones that do not have the stats already filled in.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing that we're missing, and what I want to do is I want to get someone. I'm a graphic designer, but I tend to not do as much of it as I used to, just because I'm too busy. But I need to get someone to make a character sheet, like a printable character sheet. So I think that's something that we need to. But yeah, I'll try to add a blank one in there. That's easily done. And I need to get something because I went and printed out the ones that are in Google Drive, and I've been doing a bunch of IRL sessions with the system. And I played with some total noobs who have never played role-playing games, and it was actually a great example of the ease of how easy it is to pick up, because in about 20 minutes these guys were ready to roll and playing the game, and they had never played any role-playing game before. So it was cool. But anyway, I printed out the character sheets, and they have like links. So what's on the other side of the link doesn't come through when you print it out.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, damn it.
Why doesn't it just open on the internet?
Yeah.
That's the future, man. That's the future. So, unfortunately, we are at the end of our time here on Encounter Roleplay tonight, playing Open Legend, A Star Once Fallen. Brian, if you want to kind of just give a quick kind of overview of the game system, just before we head on out here, just so if people are just joining.
Pitch.
Yeah, your elevator pitch.
Well, I think the fun part about it is I wanted to write something that is allows people who are writing content to focus on story rather than mechanics, because the idea is that it should be rare that there's a mechanical need that's not already covered in the base system. So from my perspective, my hope for the system is that we'll get people interested in writing story rather than writing a whole bunch of extra rules that aren't really needed, since the core should cover 90% of everything. We've already got a bunch of people working. Somebody's working on a futuristic campaign that it feels like the present. Feels medieval, but it's actually technology underneath of it. So there's that. There's another one that's like a space opera, Star Wars type of a setting, and I'm working on my own, which will probably be released. I want to kickstart the initial thing with a campaign setting, I'm hoping. So we'll see how that works out. But I'm going to be running that. So plug for Will's thing, because I'll be DMing that starting next week. We're going to have Amoria's Dawn is it's a clash of worlds between a savage, tribal, shamanistic, elven culture that's a jungle world, and a overrun steampunk society that's depleted all of their natural resources and forced to use a magical gateway to go to this other world and colonize. So, as you can tell, slavery I'm a big fan of.
Huge fan of that.
That's why me and Brian are friends.
So anyway, that's that. And you can check us out on just go to Open Legend RPG and look at we're on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, all the normal stuff. And we have an ongoing show in addition to Will's as well.
Yeah, so this Sunday, the 24th, a new show starting at 1 p.m. EDT, 6 p.m. BST is happening. So you can join us on Sunday for that after the 24-hour stream. And then continuing on, we'll be playing this bit of Open Legend. So we'll be playing Open Legend all day Sunday, which is super exciting.
You are insane.
Yeah,
Stop killing yourself.
I was wondering if you had done the accounting or the math on that one when you were talking about that earlier.
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. I'll be there. I'll be there.
There will be a body known as Will present. Oh,
Are you guys geographically close to Will? Like, in case we need someone to kick him if he's sort of like,
Finbar can give me a ring.
Yeah.
that'll be the best I can do. Also, thank you to, I believe that was Witchy Mama something.
It was Witchy Mama 1718. Welcome to the adventure. You are a gentle mama and a scholar.
You're also a witch.
Also a witch. Welcome, mama.
Okay.
So
I feel that's a good point to sign off.
that's a excellent bombshell to end on. To end tonight's stream. So we're back tomorrow on Monday to do